Ahead of a key gauge on economic growth for Q3 in the U.S. This morning. Futures little change here. We are in positive territory, but we're going to get the Q3 GDP numbers coming out any second here. We'll touch on that coming up, but little change, as I said, for futures ahead of more monster earnings coming up after the bell tonight. Apple to come tonight. Yeah, it's Apple Day. Also, Amazon reporting, Starbucks, just to name a few, coming after the bell tonight. The market did pull back a little bit yesterday. If you remember, the S&P and Dow back in negative territory after both were in record high territory the prior 2 days. Q3 annualized GDP, still waiting on this number here. You can see, oh, there it is, 2% versus 2.7% expected for Q3 GDP. So a little bit of a miss there for that number, 2.7 expected. On that number once again. We'll have a look at some of the tech names also coming up this morning, including RFL down big time on a FDA miss on a trial. So we'll talk about that name. Also, Twilio down big time following earnings were worse than expected. And the Trump stocks are back in action today. DWAC and PHUN very active here in positive territory in the pre-market. It is Thursday, October 28th. 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, not much reaction there for markets. If we could maybe full screen that, it would be better. Positive territory, but we are getting a bit of a downtick here again after that GDP number, guys. Again, a little bit of a miss, 2% versus 2.7 expected on that number. So again, a little bit lower than expected. Otherwise, a decent morning. We had a number of key names to talk about this morning as far as earnings are expected. As we said, Twilio, big move down. They're looking for a Q4 loss versus about break even expected. So we'll talk about Twilio in negative territory here. But Sean, you're Ford. Good morning, guys. Ford with a big number.
Yeah, really happy with the way Ford performed. And then obviously you get the dividend restatement. That's what it was. Only 10 cents a share, but that's fine. We'll add that.
GM0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing about it is if you put a 10 multiple there and $1.80 per share, put a 10 multiple on Ford. I mean, you can see it right here. I have Palantir up. I'm actually looking at Palantir down near 25 again as well. So I'm already long Ford. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, but I am long Ford, 1672. We'll get some more shares. It doesn't activate until I take more shares, unfortunately. So we are long Ford right now. Look, a 1.4 million bid imbalance there. And what a big day it was for them. Finally, we get that move that we were thinking about. There's my tick right there. So we are long at 1672. We finally get that big move. We've been waiting a while for this. They came out and said everything that we wanted them to say. And unlike GM a little bit here, they didn't really fret too much on the chip shortage. But a nice move to the upside. We were selling some the other day at $16. Just got to be, I told you, it was too much, too far, and we took some profit on it, but now we let the rest ride, up that 8% and a bit today. Just a great report overall. I mean, forward looking now, it was between 8 to 9 billion, and they upped that to 9 to 11 billion or so. So look, we're really happy for Ford. I still think that, where's my 1 minute chart? There is some, where is it? No, that's it's not the wrong one. Where is it? Is this it? That's a 20 minute. One more time, guys, hold on a second. We do have some levels up here, 17 if we can crack that. 1720 is the high. I don't have the chart going back as far as we need it to, but 16 I think for some defense. We're going to be long Ford. We're long Ford right now, and let's see where we go. But a big quarter, man. I didn't think Ford would be up 8.5% on earnings. We've seen them get knocked down this much on earnings, but it's a great day for us here today. We are overweight Ford. We've been like that for a bit. That's why we cut some, but now we let the rest ride. My price target, honestly, if we can get to about $19 in the next couple weeks, then I think that we can rotate out of this one and go maybe even into a GM. Ford's up 82% year over year. GM is up 40% year over year. So it's You know,
it's pricier right now.
You need to get caught up, so I think you could play the catch-up trade with GM, but for right now, we'll ride it with Ford until about 18 or 19.
Yeah, GM's a little bit less expensive on all the multiples, but at the end of the day, like you said with the chip short, it's just, one was complaining and the other was not. I said complaining, that's not really the word I would use. I guess worried and not having a strong guidance. The other thing, and I want to get this right out of the way here, congratulations to Dewey, one of our viewers here, has a new baby girl as of this morning and is watching anyway, so that's fantastic. Love to see the family grow, so hopefully she will be a trade. I don't know, like maybe she will, maybe she won't, but wonderful news. And it is a strong day in the market, which is great. We get global foundries today. I'm looking at, this is completely unrelated to anything I'm saying. I'm just watching digital brands here. Just spiked up very recently, just now, like about the 30% right now. And DATChat just made a move towards the high of the day. I did short in front of the top. You see that came in. Already scalped a little bit out, just a little bit of a play, spiking into the high of the day. Want to get quickly in and out. I'll probably cover it by $9, as it looks like it's getting there now. Global Foundries will hopefully open, so it's going to open at some point today, so we'll get that trade. No idea when, but excited to see that IPO.
All right, here we go. Digital brands, guys, with a Amazon Prime announcement, it would appear. Looks like an affiliate program as well. So digital brands on Amazon Prime seems to be that announcement. There was also the initial jobless claims number that came out there, 281 versus 290. So a little bit below what they were expecting, which is obviously a positive. Not much of a reaction as the overall market so far is pretty flat once again in positive territory at this point, though. Before we go any further, let's get over and say good morning to Miss V.
Morning team, welcome everyone. As usual, I wish you a wonderful, profitable day. Please enjoy your trading and the show, and don't forget to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed, guys. Get it started. Lots to talk about here as we head towards the open. Under an hour to go. Twilio, the big mover aftermarket yesterday here in the pre-market as well, down big time. They beat both EPS and revenue, but forecast a loss bigger than expected for Q4. So TWLO, not looking good here.
Wow, so before we go to Twilio, because yeah, they got punked, like that's out just in time. Accidental long because my stop was still in. I quickly was trying to cancel it because I didn't actually want the long position, and in a flat. DAT's on the march to 10. Twilio got, I mean, so what I think, and again, this is just what I think is happening here. When I look at Ford and GM, when I look at what's happening with Twilio, you know, like if you like in the market we're seeing right now with everyone's like inflation fears, but then that's not really getting priced in as much when you look at yields. We talked about that with Mr. Wonderful yesterday, Kevin O'Leary, and what I feel like is happening is if you guide strongly, if the market sees that growth is going to be there, at least you're saying all of the right things, then you're getting really heavily rewarded. And if there's like the slightest kink in the armor when it comes to future revenues, when it comes to future growth, then you're getting absolutely shellacked. So I feel like that's what happened in the Ford GM case. I think that's what's happening here with Twilio. It was very specific. When it comes to things like Snapchat and Twitter, that was very stock specific, I think. But in this particular case, you're seeing Twilio, you know, get back into some May support, which a lot of companies that are getting punished are getting into this May support area, and this for them that's going to be like a 280-ish or so. And it's continuing to fall in the pre-market. This is not a situation where they got down 10% and then they were just sort of basing out here on low volume. Like no, they were actually continuing to drop, and now down another 4 or 5%, into like this 290. So you might actually see those 280s from May come into play here, and that should be your support area on Twilio. So that's what I think is happening. My mind is sort of taken right now by watching, digital brand just came out of nowhere, and then DATChat here, DATS, just made the high break. I didn't hold on to it. It did go to 990. It does feel like, that was one play off of the, I should pull up the chart. I'll pull up the chart here just very, very quickly. It was a play off of that high of the day, putting in a lower high, scalp it in here to support like 9 even. I even said I'm going to get out in front of 9 even, and then it just absolutely goes. I didn't think it was going to go this fast. So crazy, crazy move here in DATS. Someone asked me to look at, I think it was IFRX, and they were just curious, and this will take like 2 seconds. They were curious as to what was going on here. These are just overnight dark pool prints that get dumped to the tape late. So it is absolutely not trading up to $5 each and every single time. Some stocks have more of these than others. You will see them. A lot of times it's at 8 o'clock, and there's usually a big one that happens right after 8, 8:05 to 8:07. But that's just late reported dark prints to the tape, and sometimes there's a ton of them. They can trigger stop orders. Trust me, I know, because it happens all the time, depending on which stops we use here at Day Trade the World. But that's all you're seeing in IFRX. I didn't catch the name on the question, but I did want to make sure I answered that.
Right now, Ford. Yeah, so I mean, we're about to get out of Ford, actually. I'm waiting at 94 here to get out of some. There's a decent level at 95. So we'll see if we can get this. We're already in the money 20 cents. So we'll start the day off. Let me just get this print. Come on, just print me at 94. And then we'll get started. There it is. Yes, sir. There we go. We're starting the day off right with a 20-cent win there on the biggest and the baddest of them all. That is Ford. So yeah, making money, hopefully, in our own accounts and here as well. I love Twilio. You know, sure, they've guided a little bit lower, but down 14% is not what they should be there. Strong revenue, strong growth, strong everything. I really like Twilio here. I think it's in the right space, but software as service here. Well, you know, I like them. They're, you know, they have various partnerships here. We like the CEO. I like what Twilio's doing. I think we can get maybe even a better price for this, but this is already pretty decent, man. I mean, down here, like what Neil said, 270, 280, something like that is a pretty sweet buy. I'm actually logging in right now to my account to buy some Twilio at some point today, so 280, something like that. I'm still long. I mean, I remember buying this thing at 30 bucks on the IPO, and yeah, it's been a pretty sweet ride up there. I've gotten out of the most of it. I can't even remember when. It was a long time ago, so it was nothing in the 400s. It was probably down here, like 200, 180, something like that. But we had a big boost up there. I'm still a shareholder. That's just what I was checking. So I think we got to get more, though, down here, 270, 280 for Twilio. And I think this is overdone to the downside. And when you do guide lower in this environment, like Neil said, especially with the fact that yesterday we got word that, you know, Canada will be raising as well interest rates, and, you know, stopping and tightening up a little bit, stop some of the quantitative easing. So I think it goes Bank of England first, then it's going to go Canada, then it's going to go stateside, and then it will be the ECB. So all this is going to be happening, and obviously when you're in a high growth stock, you know, that's not great. So they're not in the best environment right now, but I do like them. I think you buy Twilio, and I'm buying some today as well. So
yeah, like a little bit overdone on this move so far this morning. Let's go to Trump land and talk about this DWAC again, guys, because we're positive and then some this morning. 8% here in the pre-market on decent volume once again. PHUN. Also back to the upside this morning. Maybe just a bounce, maybe a little more to it. There's a couple of catalysts here. Some Republicans getting in on this back with investments. But what do we think of this here today?
Well, I think, look, I think we said this yesterday, maybe, or maybe it was a couple of days ago, that when something like this doesn't break, and again, the hype. Remember, this was $10. Hype on the first day, 40 to 50 was where it closed up. You know, until it breaks that, I mean, anybody that bought in early, they're still sitting in the money. And not just sitting in the money, but they're sitting in the money pretty heavily, right? Like, even if you bought at the top, you know, where it closed on the first day there, going back to the 21st, you know, you're still up 50%, actually 50% plus right now, mid 40s, let's just say. And, you know, we were trading this in the afternoon show. I know I was short this one off of that double top, and that has probably a lot to just do with that setup, right? Like, if we can, I'll just zoom out and quickly show you here. Had to do with that setup. Like, it went parabolic, spiking into like what is obviously like 75 is going to be a level. Gets to 74, you know, could have stalled out. That was, to me, that's an easy sort of short because it went too far too fast. And then when it put in a double top, again, sort of the same thing. Well, guess what? You know, you're sitting right here looking to now break out at some of those levels. So, you know, 74, 75 break, whatever is your preference, that's the kind of thing that could take you to some air up there, because when it was last above these prices, I mean, we're talking about it cracking down through 100, 85 was a big deal. So you're starting to think about this getting a bit of a second wind. And then the volume is starting to taper off a little bit, so I'm not sure that it, you know, when I was sitting down here, I thought there was a much better chance it was going to make that break in the pre-market. Now it kind of feels like that'll have to wait until the open. Clearly, that 65 level could turn into support again like it was before. So, you know, DWAC is certainly back in play. We'll be watching FUN as well. But DWAC has been the leader of the pack. And if one of them is going to go, I'd say more parabolic, it's likely to be DWAC just because the float. FUN, I don't know, like fun just seemed like it's turned into one that's easier to short for me. Maybe it's a liquidity thing. Either way, I like DWAC through that 74. 75 you do have to watch out for, because when you take a 74 break, I'll always take some out in front of 75 because it's a nice round number. But this one's getting off the schneide. But I'd like to see the volume pick up, however. A little bit disappointing to see the volume taper off if you're trying to get a breakout.
Yeah, that was the breakout that I was looking for. Was it's on my sticky note here today. Follow it. We have Palantir on here. We have a couple different names on here. We have DWAC, and we talk about looking at fun as well if you are looking at DWAC. But you have this 74 level that we sort of touched upon yesterday in the afternoon before bouncing a couple times, and then you bounced off 74 again. So I think there's some definite resistance up there. You know, with momentum, we can crush 74. I mean, this is just kind of a random number in here. It's just yesterday it was these tops. So I think you have 74 here. You go back to, this is a 20-minute chart, so you go back a couple of days here to the 26th, where you have 71, 72, 73, 74 as tops, and then back into here you have some bottoms. So I think we're really at, and I don't know why 74 is so important, but we're at this level here where it's kind of danced around, and let's just see what happens. So bottoms there, kind of the bottom there, forget nothing happens this day, and then on here we're kind of at the top at 74. Yesterday we're at the top at 74. Now today we're bouncing off 74. So yeah, there's going to be a few trades here on DWAC, but you know, also make sure, and I know Neil talked about this as well, but you know, make sure you're watching fun down here, now up 3%. But the same kind of thing, you know, you have some of these bottoms, man, like $4.50, $4. Like, I don't know, there's some breaking spots everywhere on these names. So you got to watch volume. You got to see if they're coming in and play it. My focus today is obviously going to be on, like yesterday, man, the big cap stocks, which we absolutely, you know, did well on. So we're going to watch those. We're going to watch Microsoft today as well. We're going to watch everything. We're going to watch Affirm. We're going to watch Facebook. There's a whole bunch trading today, Brendan.
The Lucid, guys, some of the EV names, we'll talk about Lucid here, but some of the EV names showing some strength again today. Tesla included, 4% here for LCID, back to significant levels over on the daily chart as well. This is really the only catalyst, it would appear, for Lucid this morning. They came out last night after the close saying that Saudi Arabia has been the second largest market for Lucid in terms of pre-orders. Remember, October 30th, going to be the first deliveries for Lucid coming up very, very shortly.
And once again, here we are, 28 on Lucid. It's a weird looking chart. What ends up happening, it's weird. Like, I get these things that'll fill in a little bit late. At the open, Lucid did make the break. It took 28, it took 28.50. It couldn't get much further. I mean, there it was. It actually just filled in there. So you go, it got to 29 even. Now, this has been a story here. The daily chart don't need to go that far back because it hasn't been around long enough. But every single time it's been above this price, failure at 50, failure at 30, failure at 50, now failure at 29 even. So this is a more immediate retest. Like if you think about it, like the time between it retesting this level is just getting more thin. Like it was a few days and here, and then now you're getting it essentially the second day, like right back at that same level. So it's a little bit more bullish. Each and every single time it retests this area here. Now, whether you like it, I mean, 28.50 certainly was a bit of a level going into yesterday. Now that's already been breached and failed. 29 stands as your breakout on Lucid. I think because of how much more bullish it is this time going through, it's a little bit easier to think about a dip buy. It's rejected this level hard, and dip buying has been suicide every time it's bounced off of 28. But this is definitely more bullish. Like you're retesting this level now the second day. So if it wants to make a run, I'm kind of looking at here on the daily chart. I mean, you should have, in theory, some support at 27 even, and that's sort of confirmed by where it based out here in yesterday's action. So I would put in a dip buy at 27 from a momentum standpoint, a 29 break. Like at some point, it just feels like the stock has been trying to break out through this level, and it's just inching and inching closer to actually doing so again here today. It's actually trading somewhat close to pre-market highs. I just noticed that Tesla now $15 off of its highs. So I mean, Tesla's slowly on slight volume sliding back in here. I would be a little bit cautious because, I mean, it's like if Tesla were to break back down, then I don't think your breakout's happening in Lucid. I just kind of feel like those are two things that couldn't come together. So out of the corner of my eye, I would always be watching Tesla if I was going to make that Lucid trade. But 29 break, 27 dip buy, not touching it in the middle.
Yeah, I'll say it. Shiba Inu, we'll talk about that in a bit there. Got some more out last night, but I mean, I'm still trying to hold as much as I can here, but have to take some profits out. Switching some money into Cardano yesterday. I think that has to go at some point, so we'll wait for it. Yeah, here's that break yesterday. We had this Lucid trade. It was a great one for us on the break early. Neil just talked about these levels again, but 28.22, we broke that yesterday. We went to the upside. We got about 70, 80 cents. It came back in. We tried to defend this level. It didn't work. We got out. Thank God we did, because then it faded all the way back in here to close around 27. And then today you're up that 4%. So I say rinse and repeat, baby. We're going to basically, there's a couple trades here. I'm not going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to rinse and repeat this pattern. I'm going to short it if we get to like 28.60, 28.70, something like that, and see what we do around 29. So to me, Lucid's a short today. I know it's great. It's up 4%. Fantastic. The short could still work, and then it could still go up. So all we're trying to do is short these initial pops if it does happen. Watch out for 29 here. We've talked about that. Look, I mean, over and over and over again, there's all these tops up here. So if it wants to break it, great. I'm long some of these EV names, so I'm happy with this move. I think they're getting a lot of bump today. Obviously, there's the Ford news. There's some good spots in electric vehicles, and you see Tesla coming down, maybe some money switching over to some of these other names. So I like Lucid here on a bump up to 28.60, 28.70. We'll sit there. We're sitting there right now with the short waiting to go. So we get short there, and then we'll see if it can come into, I mean, even here is fine. Like, even if we come back down 30 or 40 cents, we'll just take that and then see if we can get, a miracle move on the way down, or it takes out the top and we'll deal with it then. So for right now, I'm going to play the same patterns over and over again. I'm going to go short Lucid if we're lucky enough to get it, but it has to come in. So not short right away, like 28.50, 28.60. That's what we got on Lucid. I want to shout out to everybody with Hydration Nation and Vitamin Nation as well, as we get ready to get a little healthier here this morning.
A few other notable earnings names to keep in mind for this morning. Caterpillar out. There's Comcast. They reported pre-market as well. Not, really moving around a lot. I wanted to mention this one as well. eBay, used to be a huge report when it would come out, gave you all kinds of opportunities. I'll show you the chart here in a second, but weaker than expected Q4 sales. Forecast not great as well, so a decent move down aftermarket yesterday again. No volume here for eBay, guys, but back to some significant levels for that one.
Well, I mean, you asked the question this morning. I think to me, Brendan, when was the last? Do you know anybody that uses eBay? When was the last time you used eBay? And then I was thinking back, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And then I realized, no, it actually wasn't eBay that I made the purchase on, although I checked eBay. It's actually not a bad-looking chart on the daily, so let's sort of get that out of the way. But if you put the context in mind that everything has been going up, so it's in a relative basis, it's maybe not as impressive as it looks, but that is a sharp decline, like an all-in-one, like you're essentially right on the highs, and then all in essentially like 2 days, and on one print, you're breaking first support, you're breaking the 50-period moving average. It's a heck of a lot really fast for eBay here. It always it feels like to me, like a lot of times that's like your like rubber band play, like you're gonna get a bit of a snapback, but there's no volume on this name, and I can't get behind it. Like I'm not a huge eBay fan in general, but I would normally think about this. If there was volume at the bottom here, like maybe you'd get a bit of a bounce. I'm just not really seeing it. I just want to address this super chat if I can, because thank you, Hectory. I'm not going to say the whole name because it's a bit of a mouthful. Hectory, they're asking about this IFRX. Look, I mean, I didn't see the price target. It's on our watch list. Inflorax is on our watch list, and I was talking about these dark pool prints, and I didn't see the price target that you're talking about. So I'm not sure who's making reference to a $14 price target on a stock which is gapping up 60%. It's essentially at one point it was close to looking like it was going to double up. It got right to the most obvious level on the daily chart at $5.11. Right back here. If you're going to say, where is this thing going to turn when it started breaking out, and it said 5.11, everyone would say the same thing. And if it broke that, you're talking about like $6.75, $7. A lot of times that can mean that it's going to be weak for the rest of the day, but it is churning through volume, making some higher lows. So, I mean, it's set up for a good break at 5.11. I don't know where 14 is coming from, so I can't really speak to that. But I can show you that it does have to get through some significant resistance, I would think, at multiple stages before it got to that price. I mean, this is something that, there you go. I mean, it's a former SPAC here that has come back down to earth several times after pops, and you got to notice those patterns. So, I mean, people ring the register in front of like 7, in front of 5. I never blame them when they're long at $2.
All right. Yeah, I was just looking for the tweet about Shiba Inu because it was like if someone invested $8,000, and I don't know if someone actually did it, it'd be worth now 5.7 billion in the last 400 days. So $8,000 turned into 5.7 billion, and someone tweeted their account out. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. Now the 8th largest cryptocurrency in the world by market cap is Shiba Inu. So what a great move they've had. This is the trading view chart, so a little bit nicer now. You can see the colors and everything on this one as Shiba Inu right now, 0.763. So 6.7. I mean, it's moving around, but you know, nice little base there, bottom. You know, when we woke up today, yeah, I was a little bit panicking. We were down to 6.5 there, but we did touch 8 and change last night. We did take some out in this little move to the upside. I put an awesome offer up here at 112 that never got filled, so never even came close to it. So we'll see if it touches 0.9 again today. You know, you got something when I'm looking and I'm seeing CNBC retweeting stuff and things like that. And now you get actually, right now you're getting Dogecoin. And I don't have a chart up for Dogecoin. I bought some more ADA yesterday, 192 by the way. Coinbase, oh no, Coinbase I don't think has Doge. So I'll have to find you a Doge chart, but that's up 25 or 30% today as it switches from one meme coin to another. So if you don't like dogs, maybe now you do because Dogecoin is moving around.
What's killing me is like the
Valeria found this.
The flippening used to be like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and now it's Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Like that's how quickly times change.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the bull, and here is now the bear. So this is one of the things. Someone gave this to me a hell of a long time ago. I can't remember who it is, and I'm embarrassed by that. But I don't know who it was, but someone gave me this.
Was it back at Sinclair?
I don't know. I have no idea what it was. But there it goes. So it goes from a bull to a bear. So you can change your opinion on the flash, and that's what we do here every single day. We trade price action, and there it is. So now, what am I doing? I'm a bull. So today we are bullish today, and there it is. So I don't know. We remember we were thinking about a name for this. We had Benny the Bull. We had Brendan.
We came up with a name last year.
Yeah, Brendan the Bull and Brendan the Bear, I think, because
Brendan was one of the. Yeah,
he's always delivering the goods. But I'll put this on Twitter. Maybe we can figure out a name for this. Maybe a possible Twitter post coming, guys.
Not even smiling.
That was a flash from the past, guys. Wow, I haven't seen that thing in a long time. Upgrades and downgrades this morning for you. There it is. Ford on here. eBay actually, yeah, with a few price target increases, even with that report out, they are down. As you can see, Datadog. I don't even know what that is. KLA at the bottom there. Fiserv over here. We had a couple of deals involving them over the past couple of weeks. Spirit, Twilio, and Under Armour, guys, to the downside.
Under Armour, interesting. I mean, they're up today. But Twilio, look, getting the downgrade. Like we said, they've gotten absolutely beaten up. And we'll probably talk a little bit about, once again, more headlines coming from the... If the Chinese government decides to step on a sector or a stock or whatever, like, it's basically never once, man, because like Futu and Tiger, again, like basically come out saying they're illegal. But like we already said about Twilio, I'm sort of with you, Sean. It feels like it's too far. I guess you could say, you can't say the same things about eBay, just looking at the chart, because if that were to pull back, I think eBay has some room to run here, guys. Just want to quickly, before we move on, I want to come back to that chat because it looks like that's a bit of a fail break here. No, I took it too long. That was an accidental. I actually still had my stop order out despite the fact that I had gotten out of my shares. That's sloppy on me. Like, this is how quickly it turned around. Like I got out and it was immediately coming through and I was a little bit too slow to get my stop order. I actually moved away from the stock because I was out of the trade and then canceled my stop or tried to cancel and didn't. Now you're going to get a bit of a pullback right into this 9, which was support. Like lower high, tried to break 9, couldn't do it. DAX gets below 9 even. And you might see this drop a little bit here, like maybe like 30, 40 cents into that 850 level. I'm going to hold off on the short here just because I'm telling you, the support that DATS has had down some of these prices to make this initial break. And then you go back and look at, this is what $9 was before, right? 9 was resistance before it made its big break and doubled up. Then came through, found support at 7 even, broke back out at 9, found support at 7 even, now trying to break back out at 9. It even has, like now, because it's been trading around long enough, you have the 50-period moving average at $9. A lot of reasons why I'm kind of, I wanted to cover at 9 even. I'm not there to go long yet, but I do feel like there could be a chance that this actually breaks a little bit further here today. So I want to tread very, very lightly on any shorts that I have. Get it in and out quickly.
So here is, sorry, my bad on that one, guys. I guess all of a sudden these charts changed to Halloween theme, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? That makes sense.
Yeah, why not? There's some Halloween, there's some zombies or whatever those are in the background. But here's Dogecoin. You're up to, wow, 31 cents. This is actually a bigger move than I had even thought. You know, I do hold some Dogecoin, but it's very, very small. I mean, really, I had a little bit before, dumped it, you know, in and around this range. I'm going to sneeze here in a minute, but Dogecoin right now, yeah, making some moves. So let's go over to Brendan before I have a sneezing fit here.
Yeah, let's jump into what's moving around here, guys, in the pre-market. We'll get into the morning watch list if you're still looking for the morning watch list. Absolutely free every day. Before we come on at 8:30, it gets sent out. You can use a QR code. You can use that link. Miss V will also help you out in the chat if you do require that. Again, let's talk about a few stocks here that are moving. Twilio, we touched on briefly there, but I mean, is there a trade today, guys, on Twilio? What do we do with this thing after that move?
Oh, it gets any further down. I mean, okay, so it's bouncing off 290, but there's support levels on the daily chart that we're going to be looking at. So I'm sort of with that. Like if it got to that 280 level, and I think it's, you know, a good area that it's already bounced off of once. It's when you say too far too fast, like, you know, 360 down to like a 280, like, you know, give me a break. Like you're almost like you're spitting distance away from dropping a quarter, you know, a quarter there. And this is already, I mean, essentially a 475, 480 top, right? That was essentially then finding resistance at 360, which is exactly a quarter. Like that's cutting, it's being cut by a quarter, and then look how long it took to do that, and then try to find support there, and you're gonna come in 2 days and do the same kind of move here. Now, ultimately, I think there's an opportunity to get down that price. I really don't think it drops another 15 bucks today, so or $12. But if it does, I mean 280, I would start a long position there. Any kind of fail break at 280, any kind of consolidation around that price area, to me is a day trade. Otherwise, you know, you're trying to bet, if you think it's getting down and you're trying to bet on a short, which I don't know how to structure. I'm not sure, I'd be wrong. There is this random level at 295.50, but there's not enough volume for me to be confident this is an actual seller. It could have just been some dark pool wicks that kept printing up there, and really like 295 was the level. It's kind of hard to tell when there's no volume, so I don't really put any credence in the pre-market levels I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, we've already talked about it. I think they're a strong company. I think they're very, very unique in what they do. So I'm going to be buying. I mean, it just keeps on coming to the downside. So I think you got to let this one settle down. We've seen how bad it can get for QuantumScape, for UiPath, for some of these newer names. Although Twilio's been around for 4 or 5 years, you know, they're going to miss today. And it's a little ugly here because they were off of a nice run from 320 up to 370 and now kind of just hanging. But I like a dip into these levels. I do want to buy it today. I want to rotate out of Boeing, which has been doing absolutely nothing, and probably get some Twilio. But we are coming back to the downside. If the NASDAQ does crash today, this is going to be a problem. So hopefully we can pick something up today at a reasonable level. We can't buy until we're off the show, but you know, I think it's worth it for me to make a move here on Twilio today. So I'll do it. I'm already a shareholder. I just double checked the price. It's like 50 bucks is where I'm long at right now. We were buying this on open for the IPO, and then, you know, we've been buying it ever since a little bit here and there and getting in and out. So it's a big win for us, but we've already cashed out. It's a very, very small position. It was in my swing account, so I don't have anything for the long term here. I might start to put something in a longer term account now that we're down here. But again, I got to review. Maybe I'll do a post or something on all my holdings, and then talk about trimming certain ones and whatnot, because that's what I did on Ford there. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a mistake, but I mean, and this is the thing. Do you really need to rebalance your portfolio if your largest holdings are Google and Microsoft and things like that? You know, I do think that we need to get more Facebook coming up soon, as that is way below the 50-period moving average, and for good reason too. It's just part of these giants here. I mean, look at, how do you go wrong with Google? How do you go wrong with Tesla? Like, some of these tech names right now just are working, and I don't really see any reason why they're going to stop working. I mean, this is the world that we're living in. I mean, look at some of these other names. Like, sure, you know what? Like, if you're, I mean, I know I'm an old man, but, you know, like, if you're old man thinking investing, sure, maybe you do want to pick up some Caterpillar, but screw that, honestly. I'm done with buying all these, like, yeah, let's get this for the dividend, or let's get this for safety. Screw safety, honestly. I mean, right now we have 20, 30 years to even worry about our retirement. So, I mean, you got to be in some of these other names. So I just want to sit around in some of these names and wait. And I'm even debating right now, even on Nucor. I like the move up. You're going to hear some news today, hopefully, on the infrastructure bill. There's going to be EVs talk today. and things like that. But like, is this going to be really a long-term play? I mean, Nucor's been such a great move from the bottom here, and I don't have any. I have it right here at 95. You know, if we get up to 120, 125, I think I'd take the profit and then rotate that into something with some more explosive possibilities, like a Twilio, like a Facebook at some of these levels. So even like a Global Foundries, we're going to talk about that today. That's going to be coming out hot. Like, you sit in Caterpillar and then you watch a stock like NVIDIA or AMD go up 40, 50% this year, right? So there's lots of opportunities here. I even think Apple's a buy ahead of reporting.
I mean, in that regard, then you end up 100% in growth in tech, right? Which can have some dire consequences in certain regards. I mean, personally, I would never do that. Like, I think you got to have some balance. That's just me. I am excited about Global Foundries. It is worth mentioning because we've said Global Foundries a few times. They're not making money yet, by the way. So let's get that one out of the way. Like, you're trying to catch them in the midst of understanding that their clients. Look, man, they're fabbing for NVIDIA, AMD, and Apple. That's what everyone's excited about. So, I think they're eventually going to make money. There's a reason why Intel wanted to buy them. I think we can all understand that because they're trying to make a transition, and Global Foundries is already ahead of the curve. What they're trying to do, we got the chip shortage as well. So, again, like that's definitely one of those names where you got to stick it away for the long term. They're going to eventually make money, just not yet. Before we go to Brennan, because I know we have to get to Arun, DWAC just pulled back another $1. So. This breakout at 74, it's like becomes a little bit less likely every 5 minutes or so. So I'm not sure it's going to happen, but it's still got the order out there.
All right, let's get that check on the overall market. As mentioned, here is Arun. We are positive Arun today. That number didn't seem to bother the market overall. What are you thinking today?
Well, I mean, overnight, especially with the end of yesterday, the way things were trading, I thought the market would open up a little bit, at least to the downside. Volatility is a good thing when you're trying to trade. This market's just coming back in. I don't know what to expect in terms of the day, but it is stuck between a couple areas that we can maybe make some reads off of. I'm looking at 65 on the top end, so 45, 65. Yeah, as long as we can stay under there, there could be a potential short around this point between, I want to say where we are now, around 60 to 65. I would go as far down as 57. So anywhere in that 8-point range, maybe looking for a short if we can get a setup. It does look like there's decent strength to the upside, so we're going to put that on. It'll be there, but you got to wait for the setup and put that on pause for now. And to the downside, the same area, it's that soft 40, the 45-40 area. So what I mean soft is I want to see how it trades below that price point. If I were to catch a long in front of that, I want to see how it trades before I decide to get out of that trade. But 45-40 around there to the downside, and 45-65 is the upper band. Once we get above 45.65, it gets a little tricky though, because the next level will be the high, which was 45.90, but there's no immediate trade there because the risk doesn't make sense to go long at 65. So you almost have to wait for a break above and then a come back down into the mid 50s to set up a trade to back to the 90s, which is complicated in itself. So that's probably going to be something that takes some time to develop. So I'd wait on that one. For now though, 65 on the top, 40 down below, 90 is above everything, just in case we take that high out. And of course, we have some earnings later on today, right? So keep an eye on those big earnings. Well, it's not going to matter immediately, given that Apple reports well after the market closed. But for tomorrow, that could really open things up if Apple earnings were quite wild. And keep in mind, Amazon will affect the futures because Amazon will report before the futures market closes at 4:15. So there's about a 5-10 minute window there where you can actually make some trades using that Amazon report.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow. Yeah, Apple, Amazon, the two big ones tonight. We also get Starbucks tonight after the close as well. Let's go to Ford. 9% right now, 8.9% in fact to the upside. They raised their full-year forecast for the second time in as many quarters in this report. So nice look here, guys, for Ford, as we said.
Yeah, what's up to the moon? And I mean, and this is one of those old man lazy stocks that I'm talking about here, but you switch over to this stock because of the switch that they made, right? New CEO, new moves. We've been talking about Ford ever since $6, $7, $8, right? And there it is. Now you're starting to pump to the high side. So yeah, we're loving Ford right now. It is a big position. So like I said, we don't have to go everything into growth and tech, but I think Ford is kind of a growth and tech stock right now. Everybody's talking about with the reinstatement of the dividend is nice, but it's just a small dividend, but gives people a reason to get back in here. And look at this, we are taking this out. So even if you talk about, since we've been buying this thing, it's up 100% this year. So you go back to January right now, January 6th. If you go year over year and you go all the way back here to last November, then you're at 750. So you're up about 125, 130% in 1 year on Ford, right? And so is that worth ringing the register on? I think so. So we're going to wait till we get to about 18 or 19 to have earnings per share of, what was it, about $1.80 I read. It's not in our notes, but I think it's what it is. So if you slap a 10 multiple on that, which is pretty standard for a Ford here, maybe even a little bit low considering what they have, then I think you go 180 times 10 puts you to 18, and then I think that you get a little bit more of a bump up there. So I am a seller of Ford once we get to around, in between 18, 19, 20. So those are the targets that we have now. It's only at $17 right now. We talked about this a little bit when I talked about Tesla with Kevin O'Leary yesterday, and that was that he brought up a good point. It's you can't even really buy cars right now from a lot of these companies. It's hard to keep inventory in stock. When they get them, they fly out the door, and they're not getting them fast enough. Ford addressed some of those concerns. It looks like it's still going to be a while before they electrify everything. But right now, Ford looks like it's going to be a strong stock. We put it on our sticky note, and we talked about buying it back here, anything back to 1640, and just look out below. If it comes down to 16, I will have a decent position on. We're getting near the end of the month. It's been such a fantastic month. October's been, I think my net is probably, it's not double, but it's close to that of what it was in September. So we have some money to roll with here. Down to $16 today. If that happens, then let's go. But 1630, 1640, had some consolidation yesterday, and then this morning we get a nice bump up to 17. And we haven't seen this in forever. I just showed you the daily chart. So really, there's no room to the upside to look at other than those targets that I just gave you. So right now we're long at 1672. You see it on the board right now. It's a nice win for us. We're going to break through 17. We will take the 17 bid. We did look at the imbalances before, and it was a big one. So this can be misleading, even though it's 2.4 million shares to buy, which is amazing. We definitely hit Ford out of the park. We are going to celebrate some of that today, which we're doing right now. But 2 million shares, that's not a good thing, because the problem is that right now traders are seeing this bid, and that is part of the reason why we're hanging up here. I feel like there should be some profit taking today. This is a big move in Ford. That's why I feel like we do dip down into here. There will be some people like me that are debating taking some profit at this level that have a way bigger position than I do. So people that got it right on earnings want to cash in. So I'm thinking that we just sit down here. We hope that we get a nice little bid. And if we don't, then we pound through 17. It's very, very simple. It's a big trade. It was a great idea that we had on Ford. We started talking about this. And those of you that have been here for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, it depends how long you've been here. You know that we put out buys on this thing at 6, then again at 9, then we just made another buy at 13.30. A shout out to my man Randy, who's out of this name now, but we've been talking Ford for a hell of a long time, so it's definitely a celebration for us. So yeah, we'll go cowbell on this report. We finally got one definitely right. Hit this wall. I mean, we've been getting Microsoft, Google, we've been getting a lot of these right, but there goes Ford today, an easy one, $17. I like.
And thank you. I want to thank J. Jonah Jameson. I hope that's what it's for, by the way, for the super chat there. BKKT, quickly want to go over it here. I don't think it made the watch list today, but backed has certainly been on everyone's watch list for the last couple of sessions after making just an unbelievable run up and then an even almost an more unbelievable run downside. Earlier this week on Tuesday, it just absolutely flushed. I mean, it was crazy. But it just made a breakout through yesterday's high. It got right to what, and this is a dip in the aftermarket that it made to 33 or so, and it just rejected this 33 level. So I kind of feel like it's still trying to go here. It has to hold up at this. It has to hold up at this 30 level. You're getting a rejection at an obvious level at 33, and then you're getting a pullback exactly 10% into a 30 even, and this is like a triple bottom now. It's trying to form. So if it breaks this, it's very, very likely testing at least a couple of dollars lower. So if it does manage to hold this, I think you have a chance to take a 33, of course, as I say it. Now it's looking a little bit more weak here and back. So it's on the radar. Just keep in mind, this stock has tricked before, and when it starts to head to the downside, the bid just evaporated at the open on Tuesday. Like it was a sight to see, to be honest. I know, because I was in the long position watching it go down. I had 2 separate longs that both stopped out a lot faster than I expected. So you just be a little bit careful buying into this one. I think this is a stock you rather buy on strength than trying to catch a falling sword, Brennan.
All right, let's continue along here, guys. Lots to get through here as we head towards the open. We touched on DWAC already and PHUN. You got to have those also on the watch today. Let's go to Global Foundries, guys. The biggest IPO in a while, coming to market at $2.6 billion. They sold their shares at 47 apiece after market yesterday. Puts the valuation somewhere in the neighborhood of $26 billion. Will trade on the NASDAQ today, GFS.
So 12 years ago, AMD spun off Global Foundries because they wanted to focus on what they do best as opposed to fabbing and making chips, right? So this is one of the things that distinguished them from Intel in the first place. Like where Intel still tried to do a bit of everything, and is actually doubling down on that, which I think at this point makes sense for them. But Global Foundries, as we mentioned, they're not making money yet. They're still reporting losses, but we talked about their extensive client list. You know that the chip shortage has everybody's eyeballs on wanting that security, right? Like you want to make sure that you don't have your manufacturing sort of outside of your control. And I think Global Foundries is absolutely poised to be the winner in the next 2 to 5 years here when it comes to fab. So I want to have the market on open order. A lot of times in the IPOs, I haven't really been going long automatically anywhere, but there's always a price you're not willing to pay, so we use limit orders that are just really aggressive. Like if this thing opens at $100, I really don't want that. I mean, we're talking about just under 50 where we're going to be pricing it. So if it opens up over 100, I don't automatically want to buy at that price. But we'll be tracking the imbalance locator. This is what it looks like right now. Like you can be all grayed out. The second we start getting indicated imbalances as to where it might be opening, we can let you guys know. Okay, it's indicated at this price. It looks like it's getting closer. The imbalance is getting smaller. But it just seems to me it's very unlikely, as big as this one is, that it's going to open before lunch, because I can't remember the last time that a major IPO did. All that being said, I want to have it long. In case it opens too high, I want to buy off the first support that I see. And I think it's one of those that I want to have at some point in the long term, and I might have to reshuffle because I don't know that it makes sense to have too much exposure to too many names in the sector, which I already do. So I might have to trim more AMAT or something along those lines. But anyways, that's another problem. I like Global Foundries. I think it's an interesting one today. It's going to churn through volume, so it should be a trader's delight.
Right here, yeah, we just put it on our sticky note. What's up? I'll put this up on there. And yeah, someone talking about, I just said that BKKT, the only red day I have in the last 60 plus days, I'll have to look it up for you guys, is on that BKKT day where I kept buying it and then we wound up basically down fractional at the end of the day, but still a red day, and we didn't make any of it back on BKKT, so I'm going to stay away from that stock. But I just put down GFS down here, IPO today, $26 billion valuation, probably a little lofty, but whatever, people will buy it anyways. Should be exciting, taking the opening print long. So that's it. I mean, I have the order in right now. My order is out to $60. I have no idea where it's going to go. We'll find out. If it opens at 100, I'll take the 100. To me, it doesn't really matter. We'll play the momentum, and then we'll have to watch it. Like, I mean, that's the right way to play it. You play the momentum, you play how it's going to open, you play what you see. So right now on GFS, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm still long. SMH was my call of 2021. You guys saw that. We had PayPal was the call of 2020, and SMH here. That's the whole sector. Like, I mean, we were. Whatever, I was talking up AMD at 50 and 75. You guys know about that. We just went with an ETF, a little bit safer for this year, and this was the call right here. So I'm not in any SMH. It was just 212 up to 270. So a nice, easy come, easy go return here, and we're near the highs. So they're coming out at the right time right now, Global Foundries. The valuations are pretty crazy. So we're just gonna hold our NVIDIA. We're gonna hold our AMD. Those are the only two names I have in that spot. So again, we're trying to go for high value, high growth names. Take the two best. We'll see what GFS goes here, but I'm taking the opening print. Won't be an investor until it probably drops 50% from its opening print.
A few other little ones to talk about. We'll touch on Merck here as well. Another one that reported earnings. Decent report for Merck. If you look at the chart, I mean, this thing's been positive ever since this day. This was the COVID-19 miracle cure pill day, whatever you want to call it. That it ran all the way up here to 84. So we're back to these highs once again, guys, after a decent report for Merck. It's worth noting it was one of their cancer treatments that provided the most as far as boost for this quarter.
Yeah, look, it's a good quarter by them. I think everyone sort of the miracle pill. Everyone's sort of focused on that, forgetting the fact that Merck has a heck of a lot going for it. The only interesting thing I see here is when it bounced down to the 200 period, that was probably an unbelievable buying opportunity at 77. It's come and gone. And all I wanted to say about that is one of the values of like sort of picking one or two stocks within a sector or something that you, if you're diversifying your portfolio, sort of knowing, okay, this is my baby, this is the one I'm paying attention to, such that if you're a Merck investor, like there's no chance that you're going to not notice that pullback off 85, which when it got there after the miracle pill, we were talking about that resistance. But if you were sitting there thinking this is a stock I wanted to buy more of or I own, and I'm looking to, maybe add to that position, or maybe you want to trim some off and get back in, well, when it closed at the 200 period average and the next day opened up essentially right there, that was a pretty good buying opportunity. But you only catch those if you're tracking that particular stock on a daily basis, right? Like it's when you're all over the place as a day trader or just sort of looking at too many names, you might miss something like that. So I don't necessarily see a day trade in Merck here today, but I thought that was interesting to point out. Now, I'm not in Merck. I wasn't looking to buy it, so it's not something I would have caught. But that's the kind of thing that if you're more actively managing and it's a stock you're following, that's a good chance to be able to get in. It pulled back after the news. It bounced off an obvious support area, and now going into earnings, you could have had a nice little quick 6 or 7% swing there. So Merck, not much of a day trade here today, but solid enough company. And don't sleep on the fact that they're not just about a COVID pill.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in Merck right now. The name that I'm interested in is Eli Lilly. Okay, so $25 here on Palantir. It looks like we were testing there a little bit in the pre-market, down as low as $25.12. I think let's see what this market wants to do today, but you do have 25 there, 25, 25 yesterday, 25 yesterday afternoon again, and then we're trying to bounce off that right there. So if you're going to buy some Palantir today, do it with me. I'm going to be getting long around 25 bucks. And then honestly, if we drop below like right here, 24.80, something like that, then we're going to get out. We'll take like a 20, 30 cent hit on Palantir. Well worth it. Well in our wheelhouse for risk reward ratio for us on Palantir. And the reason why we don't want to hold it too far past this, like maybe 24.75, is again, because if you do break this level, there's a possibility that everyone's looking at the same thing, then maybe it doesn't get defended until 24.20, 24 even. Because it's a lower price stock, I assume that we're going to be taking more shares in this thing. So I don't want this to drop, $1 on Palantir is going to be a lot different than $1 on Twilio or Tesla. So, trade your book and your account size accordingly. And I think Palantir today has an opportunity. You're up 1%. You're up double the market right now. It faded out yesterday. It was a nasty kind of a fall. That's the one-day chart. It was a nasty fall yesterday as we were up as high as, 2670 or something? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 20... No, that wasn't yesterday. Yeah, here it is. Here, 25.50. No, it's a couple days ago where we got to that 26 level. But even yesterday, 25.50 all the way back down into that 25. So there are some levels of concern right down here and support. So we're going to be doing Palantir hopefully pretty hard today.
Let's go to bottom end of the list here, guys. This one popped up just before we came on. DBGI on positive news, as we said. This is already obviously a huge move, 64%. It was 3 yesterday. We're at 5 and change, we'll say. This consolidation on the daily chart, 550 is the middle. The pink line up here is 6, so would be a lot more interested at 6 than 5. At this point, watch for a hold of 5. I think we go higher for DBGI.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm actually staring at it right now. It's good timing there, Brennan, because I'm thinking sort of the same thing. It's breaking through 5 even. I don't like the breakout this high, but I mean, it does give you that 550 area. And I want to come back over to DATS, which is the other mover that came in this morning. It was a decent enough short. It actually did retest that 850, so it looks like it did get down there and find some support. If it cannot get through 950 this time, it's at the open, right? Like if it cannot get through 950 and retest 10, then you've got peak. It's kind of like on the 1 minute here, anyways, in the pre-market, it'll put it in a bit of a head and shoulders. That doesn't mean that it retraces back into 850, but it does set up for like a 930 type, like an open style rollover trade where a failure to get through the high does have you pulling back minimum into 9 even, then maybe into 850, which would set up for a nice little trade that I'm going to like. I think DWAC is maybe come and gone for us here, so on the breakout. And I have a general rule with breakout trades. Once it gets too far away from the breakout price, I just don't want to leave the order sitting out there. So when this got back below $70, like to me, to have a 74 break here and it spikes up, it got to 67, right? Like that gets close enough to, well, it could be halting into there. It could be resisting a band. Like you could get a breakout long, and then it goes a tiny bit into the money, and then resists a halt band, let's just say, and then shoots back down. Those aren't the conditions under which I would want to get a buy. So I want to see this consolidate higher before I want the breakout. And then Futu, like we talked about, I mean, the CCP basically saying what you were doing is illegal. And there's nothing, it's not, I mean, that's not on watch list along with TIGR, which is under pressure, and this is what your daily chart looks like. So it's another one of these names that got absolutely crushed. If you're looking for reasons why it could get a bounce, what I will tell you is down around here at 36 to 40, which is a heck of a lot lower. There would be some sort of obvious area of support, if only because, resistance here, and then all kinds of support. Like the biggest jailbreak came out of consolidation in this price area, right? So you can't really ignore it. Like this is 36 all the way up into like 49.50 where we are right now, bouncing. So it's not like it didn't fall into an area of interest. But if that 50 can't hold, I mean, there's certainly some runway to the downside, like I said, to that 36 to 40. But I'm not going to be fighting this one on any kind of a short at 20, 30 times kind of notion here. If it pops back up to this 55 pre-market highs, I would take a chance at a fade, 54 and a half, maybe give it 60 or 70 cents, and if that doesn't work, forget about it. If it bounces off 50, then I think it has a decent chance at a bit of a recovery. It's trying to make a breakout here. It's just so far down that I'll probably take at least one shot if it falls further to catch a bit of a bid, and if it takes out the low, forget about it.
Ethereum back to 4,200 right now. Wow. Okay, so Facebook's fall. What was that? Facebook just fell there.
Is that a real?
I don't know. I think we should maybe buy some Facebook here. I was just going to say that Facebook at 315 looks pretty good. So if I like it at 315, I like it at 314. So let's maybe do a little bit of a buy here if we can. I don't even know what that dip right there. There we go. So now we're long right now at 30. We'll see what that dip is all about there. Now we have some protection back down here to 312. So that could be, a decent spot for us. But we are starting to fall down a little bit. We took a long on Facebook. Today's their VR event. So we'll see what happens. I still think you can take out this 315. A nice drop there at the end of the day. Wow, all the way back down to 312 and change there. So let's see what happens. But right now it looks like Facebook definitely coming back down to the downside here today. So an opportunity to trade Facebook, yes. But again, I don't know. That's a decent move to the downside. We are going to take Facebook long and still think about a breakthrough 15. I mean, we could put an offer there right now in case we do get that spot. I don't know if there was news there or what, but the NASDAQ's not doing too much, but Facebook coming to the downside. They do have that event today. If we don't hold 312, we're gone. I mean, this is an easy play. Not a lot of shares here. We won't be averaging. I mean, we'll average in a little bit, maybe down here to 312.50, something like that. But if we break below this 312, which has been a nasty bottom for them here, if it breaks it, I think that you can, retest down in here, 300. So we're not going to hold this too far, but a nice little drop down. I wasn't expecting to get this. I was actually going to talk about this 315 break. So we're in this one, maybe a little premature here, but I like Facebook on this dip downside, man. I think there's metaverse. There's going to be a lot of talk today. Facebook has just been beat down too much here. I like it right now. We're buying more Facebook in our own account. And we're going to wait to see right now. 300 could get tested. So we're not going to hold this through 312, but we may get that bottom wick. Actually, I might not even average into this. We'll wait to see if it takes out 312, and then we'll see what happens from there. So right now, small position in Facebook, looking to build it if it goes through 315.
And slight fall, but not really falling much of anything, is DGBI. It is heading DBGI, which is now heading towards that 550. This would be on the radar, and I should have mentioned this before, on the radar for potential halts. Like it certainly has the ability to put in that kind of a move when you talk about that 550 to 6 even area. So I'm going to be watching it very closely off of the open. It's a kind of stock where if it does break out and go into a halt, I like the play for the try to catch the bid and then just get in before it halts and sort of get out on the reopen type of play. That could be in store for us here. And then just because we didn't talk about Tesla directly or at least show a chart, those wicks didn't happen. Tesla just bounced off of 1065 here, now headed back to the upside. So on the off chance that we do get another 1100 test, remember 1100 was a bit of a barrier. And if you do look at the setup here, again, pretty bullish. Bouncing off 1,000 on a sharp pullback and then setting up for an 1100 break just a couple of days later. Tesla, ignore this wick. To my best of my knowledge, it printed like 1110. I don't think it actually traded up there. So I think 1100 is still that resistance level on Tesla as we get ready to battle with DGBI. DATS is pulling back in a little bit, so it does look like waiting for a 930 rollover might have been the wrong call, but it did turn at that 950, a bit of a head and shoulders there. So decent chance to retest 850 here.
Okay, so Ford right now nicely in the money for that one, and a small position here on Facebook as we're starting it. We did notice that, actually I just did double check, we did tick down to, even in the after, I mean here we go, it was yesterday, or it was a couple days ago, that was yesterday, so this was a couple days ago. We did test this 309 and change, so I'm gonna give this down to 310 now. So yeah, not building any positions again until 311. We'll just see if Facebook wants to go. I do have an offer to get out if it comes back up into this area, 314 and change, so we'll see, but maybe took this a little bit early with only a minute to go. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We are looking at Ford. We're looking at a bunch of different names. We've covered a whole bunch for you. We're looking to short that top on Lucid. There goes Ford. Don't worry about this one. We talked about that's halted. Ford, it was 2.8 million. Now it's coming back in a little bit. So here we go. It should fall back down. We're waiting in the 30s for that. Snapchat also a buy.
Yeah, thanks for reminding about Lucid. Lucid is actually pennies off of that high. Remember, 29 is the new fresh high. 28's been.
I'm still waiting to short that.
But 29 is the actual high from yesterday's action. I'm assuming Ms. V is on the belt. There she is in all black. With 20 seconds to go, DATS is falling down a little bit here. Not sure we're going to get the pop, but still looking for to short the pop as we drop the countdown for you on Thursday, one day before we celebrate Halloween here. 7-6, lots to look at. We'll get to Twilio as well off of the open. And here comes DWAC actually battling to the upside. 2-1.
All right, Ms. V is in the building. Thank you, Ms. V, for that one as we're getting ready to rock and roll right now, guys. So, yeah, so far so good. We'll wait to see here Ford coming back in a little bit. We got our eyes on this one to see if there's any weird movement down to the downside where we can pick some shares up on the cheap side right now for Ford, but not much happening at this moment. 617 break. There it goes, 1707. Wow, that was 1680 just a second ago. Ripped up to 17. We should be long, but we're not. We just got short Lucid. There goes Ford. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, Lucid coming towards that 29. I'm watching it pretty closely, but here's that IFRX also bouncing off of its lows here at 415. It gets anywhere to that 450 mark. I'm going to be looking for an entry point there on IFRX.
Look at Ford.
And that 29 coming closely on Lucid. Not quite there yet, though.
Look at Ford, guys. I mean, 1720 now and still Rip City to the upside. That's still Lucid. We are short Lucid right now. But Ford is the one that's making the money right here. I mean, great long early, man. This is what happens when you believe in something. We talked about that. We will see it come back in a little bit. Let's see if it hits us back to 1720. That might just be a good out. And then we'll see if we can find a better in. But right now, 1720 the high. I am sitting right here on 1690 to see if we can catch something on the downside. It doesn't look like Facebook wants to do what we thought it would. We're taking one more shot here. We are long at 312.50. It's down out of the money right now, $2. We'll see where Facebook goes now. I still have high hopes for it, but definitely could be wrong on this one as it looks like we are out of the money now, about $1.80 on this name.
So I'm gonna take a shot on Futu here. I said if it bounced off 50, I wanted a long. It did bounce right here, 50.03 right at the open. I'm trying to get some 51s here without chasing it too
there
far.
Goes Lucid.
Yeah, Lucid just did Lucid break up?
Oh no, my
went down. What are you talking about? Lucid's there. Lucid for a second there. I was like, it didn't break.
No, we just catching the money right now. We just put some bids out there at 40. We took that. I don't know if it went down as low as 20, but we'll put another bid there. And we talked about this, man. This was exactly what we said. We'll short Lucid. We'll look for that same pattern to repeat itself again. Now Lucid, cash money, man. 40 cents in the money. What up, Beep?
Little one here. TRIT, guys, halted to the upside currently 25%. Back in January, there was a short report on this thing. They came out this morning with the results of the subsequent audit that followed that short report. Looks like it was positive. So TRIT on a halt.
Facebook just got crack-a-lacked down to the downside there as it takes that out, man. Like I said, we tried a very, very small. We were thinking 315, man. And then we took that 312. And then, yeah, see ya, Facebook. Good thing we got out of that way. I mean, we should be short here. We're going to go 2 for 3 now on a big, big monster win here for Ford. We've talked about that. Lucid as well. Nice. Look at that out, man. Look at that out on Lucid. 28.15. We still hold a small piece of that one. So, yeah, so far 2 for 3 here with big boys Ford, big boy Lucid, and big boy Facebook down to the downside there. We have to wait, man. I don't know. Like, this is just getting cracked. It's a good thing we got out there.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a good thing we got out there at 310. But yeah, it is fading out.
It's getting interesting to pick some of that up. I think gotta wait for that for show. But Futu bounces off 50, like we said. We catch it at that 50. When I have to chase it past past the quarter to 32s, but right into where it flushed at the open at 53. So quickly take $1.50 off, and now going to be shooting for this 55 even top. Now, I'm never trying to hold it through a 55. If I can get $4 on this trade on one of the weakest stocks in the market, then I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm still holding half Lucid here. Look, last times it's rejected these levels, and I still, look, if it breaks 29, I still think it can be a breakout trade, but it's been a fantastic short every time, and every time we've looked at 28, then 28.50, and now 30, you know, it is what it is. I get some out in front of 20 that I'm still holding. DWAC, by the way. So DWAC says hold my beer. We are, well, I shouldn't use the word we because I'm not long the stock, but it does look like it wants to take out that 74, so it bounces off 68, and now it's running. Now, given how far and fast this is making this move, much like Lucid, if I see a resistance level like we had yesterday, I'm probably going to play a short before I would look at the breakout. Had it actually consolidated higher, then it's a pure clean break, but I still like the opportunity to be able to short it.
Okay, yeah, so Ford is coming back in right now, so we are waiting. We thought this could happen. We should have got out there at that high spot. We will take a little bit here at 90s, and just to see, like, you know, if maybe the pull back in is what we're concerned about there. Lucid, like we just mentioned there, it's a good thing we took some money out there at some of these pre-market areas, giving us another opportunity to reload it. We may do that very, very soon on that place. So down up there up to 28.50, nicely done on the reload, but we'll wait to see how far it comes down. We're still going to hold this position. I'm going to try to get out some Ford here. If we can get some mid prints about 7.15, we'll do that on Ford. We almost got that reload, man. It went, what did it go? No, it couldn't have gone down to 85 because we're sitting there at 1691. Okay, so it definitely didn't go down that low, but so far so good. And there goes Lucid, man. That's why I was not going to reload this thing. If it comes up a little bit more, we'll take some into the 90s, but we're getting very, very close to getting whacked out of Lucid, guys.
Yeah, remember 29, I still think is a reversal into a long on Lucid. Digital brands went to exactly 551 before the reversal, so that was definitely a good look there on the daily there, Brendan. Attempting to bounce right here at about a 450 mark. This could be it. Like, a lot of times you reject off a level like that, and you might consolidate lower and start to fall off a little bit more. Never got a chance on DWAC. There was no play whatsoever when it comes to DWAC. Shorting in front of 74, it got to like 72 and change. But Lucid now a break. It just broke 29. I got 29.01s, believe it or not. So I give it that like 2 or 3 second count, see if it can actually hold a bit above, and then start taking it out at the quarters. Tesla made that move. Break to the upside, rejection, now trying to hold pre-market levels. I mean, it's around that 1,065 level that I can use as a quick clean it out. That pattern's worked like 2 or 3 days in a row. I'm going to try it here in Tesla, but it'll be a relatively tight stop because when it's worked right away.
Wow, man, we tried to get long Facebook through 310. We missed that one. Like I said, it just got cracked all the way to the downside. I tried to rebuy this out, but we missed it. So we'll see if it can come back in right now. That is going to be Facebook on that miss. So we missed that reload. We should have reloaded it, but now you're back into 310, 311. So good opportunities here. We are going to be buying some for the long term on this dip. That is for damn sure. And we'll wait to see on that one. So we're going to keep on going upside right now on some of these names. Trade fill, Facebook. Okay, that's good. 310, 311. There goes Lucid, man. Ring the Reggie one more time on Lucid, man. There it is. Rinse and repeat. The same thing keeps on going there as we take that short in Lucid, get cashed out right there. And by the way, check out Ford, Miss V. Yeah, good. See this trade, Miss V? Right there. Is that a good out for you? Oh, wow, she likes it. Okay, good. Thanks, Ms. V, for that support right there. As we take out on that Ford play, we didn't reload, man. We tried. It only got as far down. It looks like it get to 1690 again, but I don't know if that's actually the truth. So a good trade so far. The only thing we stepped up on is our is Facebook, but we're going to get that back soon. So let's watch out as Facebook coming back down.
I'd be worried if, like, there goes Tesla actually breaking lower. So first shot at Tesla's not going to work to the long side. And that's a pattern which was absolutely gangbusters for 2 or 3 days in a row now. And you're breaking lower. So I've been a little bit concerned because the NASDAQ also pulled back here. So maybe, I don't know if Facebook has further to go. It certainly could be true. I did my little count there, and Lucid managed to hold 75s. So I did grab that. I did hang on to my breakout trade. I've now put the stop at 75. Let's see if it can continue to go. This is Futu. And this is it turning off of that high. Now, I said I wanted to get out in front of that 55. It didn't quite get there. It turns around off of that high of the day. Not going to try to be greedy about this. I'm taking it out at 54. We're going to ring the register on that one, 51 to 54. 55 would have been that resistance anyways. Brendo, what's up, bud?
Comcast, guys, big volume spike there. As I guess we broke back above 51 there. Came down, held 50 twice, trying to get back to the upside for Comcast. So relative volume for CMCSA.
Wow, man. I mean, Ford, I guess after the show we can get out of some. If this goes up to 18 bucks, then that would be absolutely fantastic. We are going to take a break of 311 on Facebook and try that one more time. You see Microsoft falling down. So I know Neil just talked about Tesla kind of bucking some of the trends here. And then here it comes again today. We'll see. There's a new position alert right now. Cowbell alert for this trade. Maybe the wrong one. We're going to try to hold this again. We just dipped down there to 310 again. We should have been buying there, but instead our 311 hits first. Well, we could try this one more time. And again, you know, this is what happened to us. Remember I said our only losing day was when we started chasing that BKKT. So we're not going to do that again. Obviously, Facebook's a much different beast than BKKT. So we'll wait to see where this goes, but still trying to hold out hope for this name. We'll watch BKKT coming down here one more time, or sorry, Facebook near that 311. I think we could still get targets upside here, you know, 312, somewhere in here. I don't know why it dropped like that, but you know, they do have some events today, so we'll see here on Facebook, trying to make that money back here on that name. We will, you know, I'll buy some 309.50s, but the bottom is 308.50. So, you know, we'll take another shot on this. If we have to buy it, we will. We don't have any offers out right now. So let's see if the market turns around. I do like Facebook for a bounce here.
Yeah, the ES actually was bouncing up. It was just the NASDAQ that came down there when I was watching Tesla go down. HCW, I think Brendan just mentioned that this is on the halt. So volatility halt on HCWB. We don't have any locates on this one, so interestingly enough, I can only go long. There is the chance that, you know, maybe it sets up for a bit of a run to the high of the day. That's the only play to be made. So opening up, you know, shy of 7, maybe holding support at 650, something along those lines. Halt price of 39. So it just opens up here and does not open up too strong, but it is holding that 640 level. I mean, there's a chance if it can hold that 640 for good long, but that's a really weak open. Yeah, forget about it. I mean, it's more setting up for the short. Again, HCWB don't really have any locates. Lucid did get back above that 29 breakout, so it gives the short. It was a good one down at 28. I reloaded, lost on reload, and now we're going to be long into this one. I just got some out in front of those quarters. I'll take some out in front of those 50s because that's what we usually do. Quarters, like if it's going to go 29 is the key level, go down to 28 and bounce, and 29 break, then quarters, 50s, and 75s are going to be a thing. As long as it wants to respect those. So, you know, Lucid will try to play it in both directions, which at this point seems like it might be working. DATS, it's only come down. So that head and shoulders, I did not get in because I do not like shorting on pops at 925. I prefer doing that at 930. I don't know, maybe it's a rule I should revise if it's a great setup. But that's actually holding out this 850 level, at least for now. So DBGI is also looking relatively weak. Thought this one had a chance to break out and be like a halter. Instead, it turns at 550, 450 holding support. If it comes back to 5 even, holding a lower high, I might try the short there, but just my Lucid position on and stopped out of Tesla. I said it would be a tight stop. Maybe it was a little too tight as Tesla back to that same 1065 mark and not really doing a heck of a lot, really.
So if anybody can tell me what stock that we most recently, actually no, cancel this, I'll change the screen, it was just up on the screen. If anyone on the chat can tell me, you're gonna get a shout out of what stock we just recently bought that we told you guys about that did report yesterday that we really haven't talked about today. So first person wins a shout out there on the chat, so you can talk about that.
That's easy.
Okay, well, let's see if somebody on the chat gets it. Ford. No, we already talked about Ford, guys. Okay, 150.60 upside right now on this name. So we're going to see Apple like just continues to go. Nucor, nope, no. Palantir, nope. Microsoft, nope. Amazon, nope. Palantir, AMD, nope, nope. Eli Lilly didn't buy that, nope, nope, nope. Okay, so maybe a little harder than we thought. Okay, what's up, Brandon?
Shopify, guys, just saw a big volume spike here for Shop. 1350, I guess, was the level there that was attractive, but down off of earnings. Can't remember the last time Shop missed.
You're right about that.
Yeah, Shopify don't miss too much, that's for sure. Okay, so did anybody get it yet? Well, the answer, of course, is going to be...
No, someone got it. Yes, someone got it. I see it. Hang on.
A whole bunch of people getting it now. It's Teladoc, guys. Teladoc, a monster for us here today. We bought this at 134, 139. I said I double-checked the price. I actually don't even remember what the price is on that name. But Teladoc, yeah, big movement for us today, up to 142.50. Oops. T-Doc, a big report. We haven't really looked at it yet. I will, but my chart's right now screwing up. But right now, Teladoc, what a good report for them. I can't believe it was at 131 earlier. earlier. I completely missed this in the pre-market. We knew they reported. We talked about this yesterday, but a nice win for us. Again, long, I think it's 139 to be honest with you. So long Teledoc 139. We'll see where we go from here. But so far upside on TDoc. So yeah, celebrate good times on that one. We got as high as 143. That could be a nice little breaking spot, but watch out for the, as we said here, the spread on Teledoc. Actually, it's pretty good right now. So nothing to really worry about, but here comes 143 on TDoc.
It's not always the most tradable name for a day trade. So today it probably might be because of those earnings, but I think that's going to be the reason why. I'm just going to get some, I'm getting some locates because somehow didn't have them on digital brands here. So I'll see if I can't get those locates on it, but it's starting to make a run. And then it looks like I might have looked a bit of a gift horse in the mouth on Lucid again, as it just tried to take out that high. I'm sitting here at 29.44. And it got to like 41s, it looks like, before pulling back. So Lucid, it's on a bit of a breakout trend, but I might want to cover some more shares on the north end. I might even take some out around these quarters just because it kind of might make some sense here. I don't want to pull him back too far, and I still have over half the position on the 29 break, which usually, in this particular case, when it rejects a couple of times, I would have taken more out so that I could be buying dips. I did not do that. I'll do it now. I still have offers on the north side of 29.50. But digital brands making a bit of a power move up to that $5 level, while DATS is going the other way.
Yeah, we did get another bid here on Facebook. So, I mean, if it can go, it will go, and it'll be greatly appreciated if it starts to go now, because, yeah, this is what we need. So hopefully it can start to rally a little bit here. That's going to be Facebook. We are long right now at that 1040 off of a pickup there. We did pick it up. We talked about, you know, why we liked it, where we picked it up, and there it is right now. So hopefully Facebook can make a rally to the top side now, because that would be sweet if that did happen. So we're waiting for that to come through now on Facebook. That's our big position. The other one we have, of course, is we did same way. We did reverse this Lucid, so now we'll see if it can test out 29.50 on LCID. So this is an exciting name. We'll see where we go from here. But right now, Lucid trying to go to the upside. Looks like it's just bouncing around. This is why, you know, the short we cashed out a little bit. Then we went long through the break of 29.20. But yeah, not really doing a whole hell of a lot here. Hopefully it can test that high side. But we are used to shorting this name, so we'll see where it goes. But right now, Lucid back to 29.30. Not bad. It's having a hard time breaking that. Yeah. So that's really the area of concern for us. Yeah,
I tend to agree with that on Lucid. It is having a lot of trouble getting through that price area. DATS is having just as much trouble getting through 950. So this is like, 3 times. It did break that one time when I was, actually still in a bit of my short position when it broke that 950, and then now you've tested it twice, including after the open, which I do prefer. It rejected it. I just got some shares there at 12s. I'd rather the rest of these be in the 20 to 30 mark if I can. On DATS to the short side, as we go to Brendan, who's got a name for us.
Bud, guys, this Bud's for everyone today. 10% here for BUD after, Ambev with a big Q3 report aftermarket yesterday, guys. So BUD on the move.
National American Beer Day.
I was going to say, you were just talking about
and
that.
Bud reported, and I don't think we even mentioned.
No, we missed it.
We did not. That is low-hanging fruit. Those are some low-hanging wicks that do not exist, guys. Ignore those. But Bud, there was no volume pre-market, so if there's a reason why we weren't looking at it, it's that. If there's a reason why you might want to ring the register at 65, 66, it is this resistance level here. It is a 200-period moving average. And I've seen this set up like 2 or 3 times in earnings season where something breaks the 50 period, rejects dead on the 200 period moving average on the same day and pulls back. We're a couple of dollars away here on Budweiser. And it's not a ton, Anheuser. I say Bud because I see it.
That's fine. That makes sense.
I know it's Anheuser-Busch, but I'm just going to say Budweiser. But So 65, 65 and a half, that range, if it gets another couple of dollars up, I think it can be played for a bit of a fade trade. Like you said, you're only ever trading this as a day trader on load earnings when it comes through. There goes, come on, DATS. You type NY one time wrong.
It's like, I know, you're screwed. You got to get it right the first time or you're done.
DATS rejects 950. I did not get any more shares here. I am on the offer, and I'll cancel that now. Trying to get 25 to 30s again. I did get some at 12s. If it comes back into this 850 to 875, I think that makes sense to take some profit off. I only had this short and then long in Lucid still, which it's still trying to break out through this 29.30 to 40 area. It got to 45, so I want to see it break 50, but it's still having some trouble there. Digital brands, by the way, which I checked, it is now halted to the upside on digital brands. And I missed this halt, but here's the thing. I would probably not have loved this right in front of the high of the day. I think that's a little bit risky to take the halt play when it's right just shy of a resistance level like a 550. So, I didn't get it, and I wasn't really trying to get it aggressively. And I couldn't get locates on this either, so no shorts on digital brands. But if it opens up and immediately starts breaking out through 550, well, hey, there's that $6 level. So that does set up pretty well for digital brands to continue to run. Should be a 5-minute halt, so we got 4 minutes till it opens up. And while we wait for that to happen, DWAC, I guess it's not breaking that 74. So headed right down towards that 65 theoretical support that might be in there. The breakout will have to wait. You're looking to hold support before any of that can even happen.
Yeah, DBGI here on halt, so just halted up to 550 there. I can't remember what the news was here. Maybe we can get that again. Brendo, DBGI to the upside up 80% here. And if you do zoom back out a little bit, like we always say to do, there's not much here on the 20-minute, but if I can find for once the daily chart here, you can see that's the 1-minute chart. My bad, guys. Yeah, when we're ready for Brendan, we could just go over there. Hold on one second. Here's the daily chart. So you're coming into some areas of support or resistance, I guess, near this $6. So we could see what happens here. The ultimate high of this name, 750. What's up, Brendan?
It was Amazon Prime. They launched on Amazon Prime and also an affiliate program. So that was about 8:30, guys, when we first came on for DBGI.
Aye, DBGI, yeah, so that makes sense today. I mean, obviously, anytime, like, I got to just keep my ears posted for that. Like, if I hear Brendan, somebody talking about this, in anything about Amazon and anything like that, then yes, we have to go long. I can't remember, I mean, we had some BlackBerry news with Amazon. That obviously got fizzled out as well. But, when you're starting to list over there, we have seen that bump come through. So good trade there on DBGI, anybody that has that. Just for levels of concern, I mean, it's a nice move, but obviously we've supported this at 450, it looks like, and again, some support at 4. So it looks like you're going to have a nice move on this one. Right now, it's tapping 546. And what we mean by, of course, when we say tapping is where it looks like this thing's going to come out at. So 546 right now, and that's basically where it halted. So more hopefully plays to come here on DBGI, guys.
Not that anyone cares, but when we say tap, the theoretical auction price, whether it should open up at, not that that even matters. Lucid, I'm telling you, man, it actually broke 29.50 here. And you guys, so I'm ringing the register and only going to hold the last bit here, last 20% of it, because that's kind of like a fail break. It goes through 50, it gets to 55. So to trim some makes some sense to me. It's a 29 to 29.50 move. I did take out quarters a couple of times here. Just want to make sure we're banking on Lucid. Because if it rejects this breakout again, which doesn't feel like it is, I mean, it could fall rather sharply, but it is on the tear. You got to feel like if it gets through this 50, maybe you can extend even past 75s into 30 range. But Lucid's been having some trouble at these prices, so I don't want to get too, I guess, greedy with that. DATS. Yep, that's me. I was sitting at 875. It bounced right off of the order and looks like it went right back up to 9. So putting in a bit of a lower high. Now, whenever this happens, we'll cancel the bid here because whenever that happens, like it bounces off, you're basically sitting right on support. So it was a good idea to be around that price, and then puts in a lower high. I kind of feel like, well, if it's either I'm going to bid in front of it at 880 or allow it to break and get a better price. So because I still think that has a chance to run, like I'd rather just get out in front of that, in front of 880, see if I can't get the fill inside of the range. And that way, if it tests higher, I'm still reloading at 935, getting out on a 950 break. So that's my approach there. Instead of drawing the order back, I want to put it a little bit further up, see if I can catch a more shallow bid. DBGI, we're going to wait for that to reopen. And then, of course, there was this IFRX. Yeah, that's me. One in the 930 rollover trade, pop and drop. That's me canceling the order because it popped all of like 5 cents instead of 10 to 15, which I would have liked, and it dropped 70. So missed an opportunity on IFRX. I'm pretty sure Brendan got that one, so not too bad.
Yeah, Brendan got everything all the time. Okay, so we'll talk about Facebook right here, coming back to the downside. This is where we took our last fill. I don't know. We're just going to give it back down to the bottom again, and if it breaks it, it's not a huge position here. We did take a 311 break. We talked about that. I was really thinking 315 could have been something. Thank God that didn't happen right away, and we did get a little bit of a drop down. So averaged into that position, sure, it's going to be a loser. I mean, that's quite obvious at this point. Maybe not this trade, but if we can get back to the upside, then obviously we're going to like that name. But for right now, it does seem a little bit sketchy here, and that is obviously our Facebook trade we're talking about right now. So.
Wow.
Not a good one here. What do you have? That DBGI?
I didn't even get it, man. It opened back up.
That's a tough one.
You can see, like, I was trying to, like, I immediately tried to get 550, like, above 550. I said, look, if it opens higher and can hold 550, I want it. I tried to get it. It got absolutely nothing. Yeah, cancel these. And then it halted up. I'm like, I want the halt to the upside, so I jump on the bid there, and then we're trying to get that. If you bought anything, obviously, in this thing, it's going to go gangbusters. So, I mean, we can look back at the daily again and then just sort of show you these wicks up here at 7 even in the event that it turns around at 7. But what an unbelievable runner that is. I got nothing on it. Thank goodness at least Lucid is making a bit of a move. We maybe ignored Twilio, and I just saw the name in the chat, and I'm like, you're right. Forgot about Twilio.
Don't tell me it's over 300, is it?
Well, okay, so, I mean, remember Twilio were like 275 to 280, and like the only day trade was probably if it drops down to that 275, 280. That's me making fun of myself, by the way. It dropped to 278, and then popped right back up to 290. So, I mean, there you go. At the end of the day, I say this every single time, there's an opportunity cost, right? I'm looking at, I wanted trades in DWAC. I just barely missed DBGI a couple times. Lucid's been pretty good. You know, I was trading Tesla, which ended up being a loser for me. Futu was a good one. You get past like 4 or 5 symbols, maybe even like 6, and it's too much, and I'm going to miss out on Twilio, and that's the opportunity cost. Speaking of Futu, by the way. Whoops. Let's go back here. Futu still holding this high end of the range. So I'm glad I didn't try to short this one. Instead, went for the old bounce back. Allow it to bounce off the level of support to confirm that there's going to be some buyers on it. And then, right when it comes back to the next even dollar, we took it. It's still trying to break out through the high of the day. Consolidations, higher lows. It is setting up. This is the kind of thing that if you try to short it too aggressively, you can get absolutely burned. So I'm kind of glad I stayed away from this one to the short side. I don't have another long for it, but it is setting up for a potential breakout. If this was actually $55, I just put it in, but that's $54.60. And I hate breakouts like 40 cents away from a round number like a 55. So I wouldn't be taking the high of the day break here.
Yeah, I'm feeling you, man. I mean, some of these breakouts, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. So be very, very careful with some of these plays here. What's up, Brendo?
Lending Club, guys, we saw up significantly here in the pre-market. Heading back towards day highs, 42 was a bit of a level. Both in the pre-market and right off the bat here. So trying to get back to day highs, up huge for LC.
Lending Club is like, wow.
I know, that's a nut stock.
To be honest, I didn't know what to do with it. I felt, for the back of my mind, I said this like a million times. For some reason, I felt it was caught up in some meme stuff before. And I could be dead wrong about that. The float's like 100 or something like that. And I don't think the short interest is that big or anything like that. But either way, for some reason, I was like, I can stay away from it. And absolutely gangbusters move to the upside here. I would have been normally looking to fade like 45s and 50s when it's this ridiculous, but I've been staying away from it. I did just get the fill on DATS, and that's not to get more shares of DATS. Like it's some more shallow bid, that 880, so quickly get 30 cents on this one. I'm not saying it's going to absolutely crater, but when it consolidates like this, you make a choice. It's either get out in the range or take some profit in the range or allow it to break. And if it breaks, then forget about bidding 70s. You should be bidding like 50s. I chose the former, which is in front. If it breaks now, I got to at least consider covering it up here at 850 because DATS is holding higher lows. Like if it holds this channel, you might be looking at a 950 break. And if that happens, you could have DBGI part 2, which is going to be open up in about 2 minutes, and I want to be all over that when it reopens. I mean, I feel like that's the real trade that got away from us here because 550 clean to $6 like that, and then liquidity on the halt, you could have smacked that bid. It doesn't get much better than that because it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet on that bid.
Yeah, I don't know what we're yeah, good one. I don't know what we're doing with GFS. Well, I mean, Brendan will keep on updating us if and when Global Foundries is getting ready to go. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't even have. Hold on a second. We should be able to see it on the imbalance locator, right? I did this last time. We'll sort it by time, and then we'll see if it's up here. No, I mean, I don't even see it on here. So, I mean,
DBGI is a buy imbalance.
I don't even know what the hell's going on there. There's DBGI, still halted, small buy imbalance. That looks like that's probably going to open up soon here, DBGI. But I don't even see GFS on here. So it looks like, are they, I mean, they're not pulling the rug on this, but I'm really surprised I don't see it here. NASDAQ. Maybe the NASDAQ, I mean, I'm pretty sure NASDAQ's supposed to show up here on that. So, and I don't even see anything. I don't really see a tap. Well, this is sorry, the wrong name right now. But GFS, like I don't even really see anything here. I don't see any taps or nothing. So we'll wait for that. That again, theoretical auction price. Thanks for Neil for clarifying that one. Okay, so Facebook right here, it looks like it's just slowly grinding down. Like I thought this was going to be a good play for us guys. So this one, obviously, like I keep saying all the time, every trade is going to be on me. But for this one, I feel like this doesn't need to be going this way. But again, you know, wrong on this again today on Facebook. We'll just dig ourselves a hole down to 308.50. If we can't get ourselves out of it, then that will be just a hit again for Facebook, and we will step up on that one. And then here goes Lucid. I know you probably still have that as well.
I just covered.
Yeah, it's a good spot. That's what I was going to say, up near 30. What's up? You're on DBGI?
DBGI just opened back up. Now, I'm just reminding myself that I don't think we got the locates, or did I get them? Yeah, they're unavailable, so I can't even go short. It opens back up. It's like, I'm telling you, man, like that halt play, the first one was the one you had to have. It does give you a move to 660 before rejecting, so I mean, it's coming back in, but it's still holding that 550 halt price. I was about to say it is. Now it's not. It's going to halt at 545 to the downside. Now, I would love to get shares, but I have no locates. So that's a big rejection. You had a chance every 50 cents to get winners on the long, and then coming right back in. So rejects that 6 even, comes back, and now you're halting to the downside, which, you know, I have no locates. I couldn't have played that the other way even if I wanted to. And this is the thing about having those like 50-cent targets. That's why you take those profits, because once it rejected 650 up here, it was an absolute like death keel. And DATS, again, I've gone conservative here. So just like in the morning, the most conservative range you could have made on the 940 short was getting out in front of 9 even. The most conservative when I shorted that rejection would have been taking some out at 880 and then the rest out in front of 850. So, you know, I'm only going to get about 60 cents on this, but, you know, it's still holding, at least trying to hold some of these levels. So I am going to be flat in terms of positions right now, but I am looking for DBGI if I can get some locates. And I think DWAC, you know, at this point, it's managed to bounce one time off 65 or 65.50 at least. So this is its chance to get going. It is a pretty weak stock so far this morning, but it's worth noting when it pulled back off 74 yesterday, you know, it managed to go all the way down. We didn't hold it for this because it's aftermarket, by the way. It goes all the way back down to its breakout price, and that's down here at 63.5. So it's probably not done for the day going to the upside as long as that level holds. So I know 65 is a big level, but you go back, when in doubt, zoom out, and you see where it pulled back to 63.50. That's exactly where it broke out at about 2 o'clock. So, you know, that level probably still holding up for now. Oh, good look there. Hu Wang, Robinhood.
Yeah, what's that up to?
I can't believe we forgot about. Oh, goodness, Robinhood. Wow, that was a good short again. Probably should have. Well, I mean, we were talking about yesterday Robinhood having that bottom at 33.15 or 33.20 or something like that.
Yep.
And, well, it's almost there. So it's less than $1 away from its all-time low. Of course, it hasn't been around that long. But it's been a rough couple of days for Robinhood. There's their break of the low, yesterday's low. Headed down to that 33 and a quarter, where it might find support.
There goes Facebook.
If it doesn't find support there, I don't know where it's going to find it.
I don't know where I have my Facebook out. Yeah, breaking through 308. Looks like that's going to happen right now as we come out to that 308.50 right now. And again, trying to like bottom pick here doesn't really seem to make any sense. But we'll see here as Facebook now will try one more time. Small. I mean, now we can take it with a 30-cent risk. So the share size right now really is irrelevant. But there it comes. So we're going to get out of this one, man, at 308 crash down to the downside, as it looks like, yeah, it's not stopping here. We'll wait to see where it goes from here. But average price 309.90. So this will be a $2 hit on Facebook here to the downside, it looks like. So just couldn't get out of the way on that one, unfortunately for me. But we do this sometimes. So if you ever see me, like, you know, continuing to battle in a stock like that, sometimes it's not good. Most of the stocks we have can sort of instantly rip into the money. Here's Nucor, a nice battle back today. We talked about that. I am debating selling some of this. I'm waiting for that infrastructure bill to throw down and see where we get from there. But we are long down here at 95. Now we're making some moves upside. I still like Nucor here, but let's see where we go with it. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say U.S. Steel, I think is today or tomorrow. Anyways, it should be this week. And one of the Nucor is less, I guess, attached to the price of steel. Like U.S. Steel is all over. Like any sharp movement in the price of steel, and U.S. Steel is in more trouble, especially if it comes down. It is already 10 o'clock, and you can't keep Brendan waiting. What's happening now, bud?
Hey guys, yeah, positive numbers right across the board. We'll show you what's happening as far as North American markets. I'll direct your attention down here. Small caps, really strong right out of the gate for the Russell here. 1% to the upside. The NASDAQ 0.6, 0.5 for the composite and the 100. The Dow and the S&P in and about the same. So everything to the upside today, but it is the Russell leading. Couple of things we were talking about here. LC just took off the top there, but immediately got rejected right back down. Lending Club still trying to go a little bit further as we continue along. my screen not set up. But the other thing to have a look at was Tesla, guys. I just saw some volume coming back into as well. Back over to you.
We're still long Lucid here, but it's right at 30 or there's some size. We got a 75-cent winner right now. We'll hit the cowbell. My number one stock today is Ford, but Lucid right now, big time. We shorted it. Now we're ripping to the high side right now, and you can see the size right there. 30 bucks, some decent size there. So normally I would short this, Neil. I know you're probably short, but
this might not be.
It might be a great idea, but we'll see. But anyways, that's normally a big level. We'll just see if Lucid can take out 30. Normally I'd get out, but let's just see if we can't, ride this to the high side right now on Lucid. So Facebook bouncing off that 308. There it is. See, so right back to the downside. So if you're you're scalping this, then
I'm already trying to get it.
I think there's some opportunity to make some money here. Let's see if it does go upside through 30 bucks right now. There goes Lucid.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those. I don't necessarily even want to reverse into the long off this level, but who knows? If Lucid's going to make this break, you don't want to give it too far. There it goes. I mean, just immediately.
Go.
I was able to get some out there 88 and 91. And then I'm like, forget about it. No reload, no nothing. It just chewed through that level. So, I mean, ultimately, that's way closer to a flat trade than anything else. I'm not sure it was worth bothering with it. But it was a huge level. So, I usually try those. Lucid, looks like 75. 75 was only a good out if you reloaded. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay, so we've been sort of trash talking DraftKings for a while, and I feel like it's been not trash talking. It's just the way it's been looking here on the daily chart. We get that bump off that Entain deal. This is a 1-minute chart, so you're just barcoding right now, and it's really disappointing. Down that 1.3%. I was sort of thinking that the only problem with this stock was that they were trying to commit 20 bill over to Entain, which I guess is not as small, which is over there in the UK, another sports book, but. That doesn't seem to have been the problem because they came out and said no. It ripped up to 52, 53 in the pre-market there. And then after that, basically just faded all the way back down. And now we're back down near some of these recent lows. So, I mean, I don't know what to expect here from DraftKings. Just ultimate disappointment so far in this stock. I just double checked, man. I actually don't really have anything left on this. So, I'm looking to reload it. I'm still thinking 41, 42, but DraftKings super disappointing down here on that level. So, and I'm also right now looking at Lucid. I know we have that big winner on, and I'm purposely, we did go short, then we reversed to the long. We got out pretty quick there. Didn't really believe in the long, but now that we have it, I think it's worth believing in. And then we're just going to say, let's go Facebook. We'll try to do, let's do a chicken dinner winner here and pretend like we have a winner on for Facebook. I mean, we're only out of the money 90 cents. We may take a piece out here as it's starting to get back upside here. We're doing the chicken dance to let it go back to the upside. Hopefully it will do that for us here. But here we go, 309.20. Worth taking a piece off right now. Let's just take one piece off of this right now. Facebook, let's get some out.
So IINN opens up just like Digital Brands here and then halts immediately to the upside again. Now, Digital Brands on the reopen was a short. So, I mean, if that rinse and repeats sort of the same thing there where it's just going to take to the woodshed anyone that took the second halt to the long side. This is what the daily chart looks like. This got crushed yesterday, and it got crushed off some crazy highs. So, I mean, I'd be more confident about the reopen failing at $6, but I'll take a look. If it pops to 550 and then rejects a halt, I'll be all over that one on the reopen. I actually have locates in IINN, but none on Digital Brands. Futu, look, I know I said I didn't like the break at 54.60 because 55 was sitting right there. Look, it would have been perfectly fine. You get a break, and it's clean. That's a clean break at the high of the day, and I know it's an in-money dollar. For me, I wait for 55 to go. I just scalped them out in front of 55.50, so it's a couple of longs in Futu, and usually, a lot of times I've been fighting the short on something like this. I'm not going to do it, because here's the thing. If a stock is gapping down, if a stock is gapping down like 20-something% and puts in this kind of recovery in the pre-market, right? And then drops to the low and can find support, right? Like it's under that much pressure. All the worst news in the world. Buyers anyways, flushes at the open and finds buyers again. That's just pretty bullish, right? Like that's kind of a bullish thing. So I'll have a tighter stop on this long because it's way off the low and 51 was much better. But that's why I scalped them out 50 cents and now I'll give it back to like 54.75 or so, just in case it's a failed break, and then see if it can't get up to like 57.5. So, it's been a good one, Futu to the long side. I've learned from fighting these short many times that, the way to structure a long, and we're taking advantage of it here today. I'm not looking at Tiger, which you easily could be looking at TIGR. I just felt like it looked a little bit more clean on Futu. for whatever reason. It's doing kind of the same thing, maybe not nearly as strong, but certainly the same kind of thing. It finds some support down at 7 even. It's bounced off it twice, whereas Futu only bounced once and then went to the races.
All right, and what's bouncing right now is Facebook. So yes, sir. Now we're in the money 40 cents now. This could be a positive name for us at the end of the day. So let's wait to see. I do have an offer upside right now at 310.40. So let's crack through VWAP here and get out a little bit right there if we can. But now Facebook off that bottom pick right there at 308. Our out was 308, man. I mean, we talked about that. We were worried about that 308.50 bottom, but like we always do, we give it a little bit more room now to go to the downside and take advantage right now back into the money. So your boys feeling a lot better today, or than we just were about this position. So we'll wait for it. Looks like a decent out on Ford. I mean, Ford goes all the way to 17.50. We should have noticed that. But again, a nice play there. Out for 20 cents. We're long at 16.70, and then we took it out at 17.20. So that was another 50 cents there. So Ford so far today, we only have a couple trades on it. I did say my target for it, if you guys remember where the target was. Okay, Facebook, that was 18 bucks. Here goes Facebook. A nice win for us. Now 70 cents in the money. So yeah, let's keep on riding this to the high side now. Averaged in there, we talked about that. Average in there. So three first position, average. So 2 averages in, right back to VWAP here, trying to spike out. We'll see what happens with the NASDAQ. It's just kind of cruising right now, looking to get a bottom. Hopefully we found the bottom. This is not Teledoc. We're at Teledoc 145, by the way. Like, fire off the hot dogs for that one. Merry Christmas. Happy Halloween. Tomorrow we'll be coming in our costumes. That should be a fun one tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be trading in them because who knows. But right now, there it comes. There it is. Bang. Yes, sir. Feeling like Superman right now. We did talk about trying to hold on to this one. Now, it's going to be a negative name. We lose on here. Let's see where it goes from here, though. I still have sights of, man, like right back up here. So we're going to hold on now. Now that we've taken out some of that profit, we're $1.50 in the money now on Facebook. Let's let this thing ride high. Again, this is the thing, man. Like, paper hands. Like, it just comes back. Like, we just saw us get some of that money back. So yeah, that's where we took that out, and then we take it out again. We give it some more room past VWAP. I think that's VWAP. I think that's a very, very good trade there, giving it that room. And now we'll see about taking out 311 now to the upside, and then we're laughing all the way. And then Lucid right now still near the high of the day. So today, the real money stock that's been kind of an easy flow has been Lucid, right? As soon as we broke that 29, we knew we were off to the races. Did we expect 12%? No, we do not, but we don't care because we are long Lucid.
Yeah, Lucid just absolutely a runner there. For a second, it looked like it could have failed broken 30 even, and then I said, forget, I'm not even trying that retrace. Digital Brands halted to the downside, as you guys know, reopened, and is now holding VWAP 495 or so. So if it's going to make a second bounce here, there's no locates. I can't go short on a 495 breakdown, which might be good, but I'm going to take a quick little shot. If I can get a good price, like 505, why am I sitting there for 505? Like, it started at 8s. And then if I get like 03s, it's basically the same price. So let's see what happens here. If it breaks 495, I think it could be under some pressure. So forget about 5 even, I should say. I'm kind of looking for 5 to break and then hopefully hold. If it does that, can't go the 5 pennies. I think it has a second chance. I can't go short on a 95 break, so there's really nothing I can do about that. But if it goes up, I would 100% want to cover in front of that halt price, right? Like, this is the first halt at 41s. This is like the halt down at 43. And then when it reopened the top at essentially 45. So that price area, 40 to 45, is going to be obvious resistance. If it busts through, I think it can be held. But, first things first, 5's putting up a battle. I do still want to let it break and then have my stop at 495. It's relatively tight. It's only 10 pennies or so. But man, was Twilio a miss. And I only say a miss because if we didn't talk about this and have it on the radar and have it on the watch list and whatever, it's just, we went over this and Twilio's still gonna only have one of its target area to buy, and it's still heading higher. So it just broke out 292s. I just got out of that DBGI. Like I said, if I could have shorted it, I certainly would have. It's now down at 480, and then Futu is getting close to as good as the long has been. The further it goes up on Futu, the more aggressively I have to say that. Load. The more aggressively I want to make sure I cover this to the back end, right? Like, it's come so far. It's about $5 or $6 from the bottom here. I don't want this racing past 54.60 or 54.60, and then I don't take this out for the small hit on the last of my shares as we go to Brendan.
Another retail favorite, guys, moving around again today. Zila, XELA. Looks like they converted some senior notes here. That was out Very late yesterday, but popping up anyways this morning on decent volume, 15% so far, coming up to $2 here for Zila.
So like I'm not sure what happened to Ford right here. We will talk about Zila though. Like oops, that's not Ford, that's Ethereum. Ford right now drops down into those 80s, or sorry, into the 90s where we were bidding before. We talked about that. We had this bid just sitting there, yeah. So right now Ford gives us this. We did not think we'd get this. So I don't know. We took some out there when it ripped up to 97, 98. I don't know where we go from here, but we did. Damn it. We talked about taking that profit, man, on Ford, and it looks like that obviously would have been the right call there, up to 1750. You know, I mean, my price target was 18. We got pretty damn close to that 1770 there. So we should have. I wanted to rotate out of that and get into something else. Lucid right there with a banger, breaking. That's still Ford. Lucid right there. We didn't take out the ultimate high at 320, 3020, but it does break back down below there. We get out at 30. So breaking back down in, not a bad trade there for us. But now we'll watch where Lucid goes from here, trying to pick up some bottom dips here. If that can work for us, we would like that. And then Ford, man, yes, I mean, monster hold there. Goes all the way to 312. Again, we are thinking higher side. We will get some out now if it can retest 312, but I think we could just sort of protect these bottoms now here on Facebook. We may have this one. So here it goes, right back up to the upside. 1183, man, for right now, guys, this is $2.50 in the money. So if we can get up here and take about $3 on this, then we'll do that. Then we'll hold the last pit for hopefully a moonshot up to the high side right there. And back to the money goes Ford. So let's just keep getting some out.
Yeah, this IINN, so I finally, this is the first time I've actually said that correctly in a week. It opens up after that halt, rejects 550, comes all the way back down, and consolidates below 5 even. I took a short on it, got blown out, and then was accidentally long, so I didn't add to the position when I anticipated I would. Get out of that because I didn't want it. It rejects 525. I see that rejection and then grab like 17. So it was a bit of a fail break where I got stopped out. Again, when you get stopped out, you're watching, so you can actually see the bid just fall apart. And there was a chance to get shares here, so I went ahead and did it. Now scalping some out in front of 5. I'll definitely take more out in front of 480 because it had some trouble getting out of that way at that level. And Futu, despite having like the foot on the neck of, I don't know, whatever, man. Like this stock, it's still down 16%. But like I said, it was pretty bullish the way that it's managed to come up here. Now this spike is getting a little parabolic, so give me out. There we go. We'll take it somehow. And here's the thing, man. I've said this over and over again. A lot of times, like I would be short this thing, and just saying the news is bad. You've got the Chinese government coming down on them for the second time in a matter of weeks, literally saying that a lot of what they're doing is illegal. Like that's the worst news you could imagine. But guess what? It's bullish if you look at the trade action. I said to myself, if it's going to put in that move up, slam to the downside and find support at 50, and there's buyers down there at the open, when it's slamming into those levels, and it's not people panicking out, then that's going to be a condition for a buy. And I usually see that same thing happen and be shorting here and thinking I'm getting a home run and not getting out, and then shorting here, thinking I'm getting a home run, not getting out, and then stopping out somewhere around here. So this time, I actually play it to the long side. If it goes any further than this, like if it goes parabolic into 60, yeah, will I probably try to short it? Yes. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, this thing goes to $60. That's a little bit fugazi, so I'll probably get a. There you go. That's one for you, Sean.
Yeah.
That means crazy, I think. Is that right?
No, fake.
Oh, fake. My bad. Okay, fake. My bad. So a little bit fake. So if it goes to 60, I'd probably short it. Now, IINN going to hold on to that. Digital brands, no short, so I can't get into that one. And Twilio still going. I saw somebody say that they got this. They said that they got this to the long side. So congrats, man. We'll do the this one. Because here it comes, like 300. It goes right into that 275 range. Pops up at 78's the actual low, and then now there you go, up to $300. It's still down 14%, which is it's crazy still, but good little move. I'm happy that anyone that got that one. Of course, I got nothing. BKKT, not meaning to ignore it, just didn't really see a setup. Although now that it's bounced and getting close to this 33 high that it put in the pre-market, that's a big parabolic move at like 8:30 in the morning. On BKKT, and now it's trying to retest it here. There was that level here at 33 as well a couple of days ago, so I would short off of that double top. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting pretty close on backed. It also sets up for a break, I suppose.
Backed, yeah, I hate BKKT. Okay, Facebook, again, like, it's just been dancing here. Like, I was waiting at 1180. I don't really know why there, so we'll switch our order now to like 1150. Damn it, like, I want to cash in on this, but I still think there's more room to go. So we will take a little offer there at 1140 if it can. Is that where I'm offering? Yeah, 1140 flat. So if that can come through, that'd be great. We'll wait for that, hopefully, on Facebook. So if that can come through, that'd be nice, and we'll take another piece out, and then we'll wait for that home run. I mean, the thing is, I feel like maybe we haven't even cashed in on this yet. It's a big move. Obviously, we have it, but we still are negative on the stock. So I was hoping that this could get up to that 315 again there, and then we'd be positive, obviously. But for right now, this is a negative Nancy stock for me. So we are going to be down on Facebook, and I just thought we could take that $2 there, and it just came out. We did have it, man. We had $3 up to 312 there and didn't take it. So I hope some of you did, anyways, as it looks like this one is going to be a nice little winner. If you did have that, we are defending these bottoms. It is Facebook's VR day, right? So we are hoping to get some news on the metaverse, hoping to see what's going on. Thank you so much. Thanks for Lucid, man. Yeah, you're welcome. Who is this? Devin. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for Lucid. Here's a tip. Oh, here's a tip. Yeah, good. I thought it was going to be a stock tip, but we'll take the money tip as well. Thank you so much for that rocket ship, and I hope you made. Yeah, $9.99. We like that. It's on sale today. $9.99.
Like that.
Yeah, thank you so much for that one. And Devin. Cheers.
Cheers. I just love the like, take the second to actually go like $9.99 instead of 10, or just like your lucky number. Like, I always find those things cool because whatever. Plug power, baby. Wowzers. Yeah, I just said wowzers. Why not? Plug making its break. Finally, the plug has gotten through. Whatever. That's weak. Through the 200 period moving average. There's no way to make that sound cool. But also breaking out this 36 support. So there you go. Plug finally making this move. Look, clean energy has been a bit of a space, and infrastructure, you know it's a big deal. But this is one that I think, I got to check back to see why I didn't notice this one. Yeah, it wasn't doing any volume in the pre-market. That's why I didn't see it. But certainly off the open, if anyone got this, look at that consolidation. That 36, the second break here, that corresponds right back to this level if you go all the way back into June. So pie in my face for missing that one. A great level there and a great look on Plug for any of you guys that got that one. And just to come back to digital brands here, and I don't have skin in the game in this one because we don't have any locates. So the only play I could make was trying to catch a consolidation long. But this is a bit of a weak sign. You have a halt down and then can't catch a bid off that last halt down. If it can't hold this 440 level from the morning, I mean, DBGI just could be done at least until the afternoon in terms of finding its way to some momentum. BKKT, that looks like it's maybe not making that run into the high again. It just made a lower high, pulled back into VWAP itself. So if you can hold 30s, that's a strong move. And I still might take a shot short off of 33, although it would not be as good the third time through, in my opinion. So you either size down or have a tighter stop. Like, those are the ways you mitigate risk. But the third time through, it's a little bit more likely to break out after it tests the level 3 times. Guys,
meanwhile, bang, there goes Facebook. Thank God, the market doing really nothing, and Facebook right to the upside. So we get that 311.40 right there, and now we'll see where we go from here on FB, hopefully to the upside now on Facebook, as we'll wait for this to hopefully play out now back up to 315. Like I said, we're super happy with this. We are barely negative on this name. If I just held any one of these, if I just cancel any one of these, we'd be positive, but we are not. So we'll wait on Facebook to go back to the upside. But what a battle back this has been on this name. Like, wow, just to have not sold that play right there. But whatever, we did bottom pick, so that was a lucky bottom. I don't know if it's lucky or not, but we did bottom pick right there, so I was happy with it. Whether or not we're lucky or not, we found that 308 level. But now we're pretty lucky for this move back to the upside. So a crazy move back up now. $4 in the money on Facebook. We did rinse out some of our we did get out here more and more. We only have half of this position now left on whatever this stock is, Ford, right here, because again, it tried to get back through 17, really didn't happen. So we take this all out. We're long at 1690 here. I wouldn't even think we'd get this. So right into here now, 17 and change. I just wish we would have gotten out of this a little more on Ford when we did rip up, obviously, as now you're coming back down. So what are the levels here? We can hold on to this. I mean, it's been a good stock for us. I think we'll wait to see what happens at these pre-market bottoms of 1670. So that's something to look at here. 1660 actually. Let's reload it if we can around this 75 area where we got it. But this is the thing about this stock, guys. And we've already gave a price target of 18. It basically hit that. So now you're getting some profit taking back in. We were up 12% on Ford at one point, which is a huge, huge number. So now you're coming back in. We'll retest along one more time, but this could be a name that gets faded now the rest of the day. I think it probably settles down. If it does, around 5-6% would be a good spot, but we're going to try to buy it back now as this is a nice move to the downside with the future still sticking upside. So let's see what happens with Ford right now. It's small cap recap time with Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. Let's talk about this DBGI. We mentioned a couple of things just before the open, this 550 and then 6 above that, both kind of consolidation, then the top end of the range. The way that it moved back up through that range was crazy. Very, very low float on this, but the initial move to the downside here also got me very interested because of this. Huge sell volume came in as it broke down through 5. So that got me interested initially back down towards 450 and 440. But the way, again, that it moved back through all of this all in one shot was pretty impressive. Did give you an opportunity on the resumption here back below the bottom end of that range or the top of where we stalled out initially to get back in. But this halt and the resume, just crazy on DBGI today. So going to be a negative one for me, in fact, on a long attempt off of the resume. So heads up on DBGI still. DATS ends up being a good one today off of 9. 9 was the middle of the range here in the pre-market, all the way down to 8 at this point for DATS. And then this IFRX, you had to be really quick in watching this because there was just no bounce. There was no uptick whatsoever around the open to give you any kind of actual position. But IFRX, a good one to the downside as well, guys. Back over to you.
Yes.
So Lucid 31, obviously getting out a little bit too early on that one is an understatement. HCWB, so digital brands and HCWB.
Look at Facebook.
No locates in either one of them, but look at this 7 even level. So halt up, reject 7, make a bottom at 450, and now consolidating, ready for a break again at 7. It holds view up at 6 even. This is a 7 break all the way. I mean, it's actually, okay, it's 705, right? Like it's actually got 7. So 705 break. I mean, that's splitting hairs. 705 break on HCWB as long as it holds at 6, and you've got room to, like pre-market, like that's $1.50 easy, and that's 20 cents shy of that level there. Probably a decent chance that it could halt on a kind of a move there. If it broke 7 even, I definitely want to be covering. But certainly this is setting up for a decent break. I am out of IINN. I sort of talked about, I think I threw it in the chat, but remember these halt levels, right? So I was able to get back into the short, took some out in front of 5, took some out in front of 480, took the last out in front of 450 because halt bottom 453, halt upside 443. Look at that. Look at it. Try to hold the first level, flush, then hold the second level and bounce, right? So it's not to say that's always going to be true. Sometimes it just breaks down and you're throwing away an extra dollar. But if I'm going counter trend on a stock or shorting one of these halt style traders, I want to bank my profit when I can. If it absolutely had a bid just flush on level 2, which I didn't see or anything like that, it had some support down there. Buyers would keep coming in. If I saw it flush away, then maybe you cancel that bid. I chose not to. Brendan, right back at you.
This is on our system, it looks like as well, guys. But here's the official first number for Global Foundries here, 48 versus 47 on the indication, guys, for the open.
Yeah, you just reminded me I got to get my order out.
All right, all right. A nice move up here. We're $4. We were just $5 in the money on Facebook as it ripped all the way to the high side here. We're just going to hold this one. I feel like we have it. So, we did get out not too early. I wanted this price at 311.40. We talked about that when it was down here at 310.70. So that was nice. Just kind of caught us off guard that we even got that price. So a good trade there for us. We'll wait to see where it goes now. But it looks like it may come back in. Just so we don't hold this thing forever, let's try to find some kind of an out here. 1 minute, maybe back to 312. Do we get out if it cracks back below here, 312, this bottom? I think that's not a horrible idea, but I'm still going to wait on that call and just see if that is something that we want to wind up doing here for this. So we're going to wait on that, but 313, a nice win. I mean, a win-win here for us on Facebook as it's trying to make that move back again. I still think we take out 315, so I'm actually going to cancel that. I'm willing to ride with this one today, so we'll ride with you, FB, and see where we go. So Facebook back down here at 315 would be to the top side. That's where I think we're going to go. So let's ride and hope that Zuck says something that we like on this VR day.
Damn right, Zuck.
Come on, Zuck.
Do it, Zuck. Man, like a stink bid on that bad boy. Shout out to Greg and Trader Pratt for the stink bid. Stink bids on Facebook would have worked out. Still looking at that break at 705 on HCWB. I still think that's splitting hairs and even might be the wrong call. Look at 7 even. That's, you can kind of see it there, 200,000 shares on just NASDAQ. When I quickly glanced, trust me, it was NASDAQ. I know that was fast. But 200,000 shares on NASDAQ alone. So 7 even, definitely a potential break. You know what, just in case it's a failed break, I'm going to stick with 705, right? Like, I don't want it doing that whole thing where, like there's like one dark pool print that it takes out the level and that prints 01 or 02, it triggers along and traps everybody. Believe me, it happens. So I'm going to go with 705 still. Very, very bullish here. I still think if it breaks this level and gives you a good win, it could halt to the upside. I'd want to trim in front of a halt, maybe hold in through that halt for the rest of the shares up to that high of the day, which sits from the pre-market at 875. So that's, that's the top that I see here. So looks like next trade could be HCWB before that happens, or before.
Oh, shoot, there goes
This
DWAC.
is Tesla. There's just no trade here in Tesla. 1,065 to 1,055, and this is barcoding for $1,000 stock. There's nothing to see there. What happened to DWAC?
It's at that 74 level, but it doesn't. So it's just taking out that 74 level. It does go to 75. This is the level that we were talking about earlier. So maybe there is going to be something here on DWAC, but let's just wait to see where we go now on this name. As it's starting to move to the high side right now. You see the 20-minute chart. We could rest our head. I don't know. What is this bottom? 81, 82, something like that possibly here on DWAC. But anyways, either way, a runner through 74. Let's watch this one a little closer here. If we get to this level, I think it could be a short 80, 85, 86. But we're moving around now. Up 14% again for DWAC today. I'm
lucky that it actually did a pullback and gave you a chance at 74s because I canceled my bid and then because it was too far away. When it gives you this consolidation higher and then makes the breakout, then it's sort of good to go for the original 74 break. I'm basically, it's like blind luck to be able to get 74s after the fact. HCWB is still holding longer consolidation. I guess it might embolden some shorts in front of that 7 level, but it has not yet broken. That offer is still just as big. I will cover some in front of 75 because a 74 break that already resisted 75 once, if it does it twice, I want to make sure I've taken some profit.
Okay, so Ford back in again. We were trying to buy some of these dips. It didn't get low enough for us. It almost did. 78 there. We're looking for some 75 bids, but it comes all the way back upside. So this is going to be a good one for us here on Ford right now. We're long 90s, but I don't know. Oh, we're long 91s? Okay, I thought we were long 90s, my bad. But we're just trying to get some out here at 17. I'm still trying to hold out. I don't have any more offers out for this, so we'll see if we can hold out here on Ford, see if it can go back to the upside a bit. And just look at this, man. We're feeling like Superman right now. We don't have enough shares on, but this was a negative stock for us, and really not no more. As it comes back to the upside, 315 is what we're looking for. I still think a break of 315 is going to be coming through, so whoopsies right there. Let's just see. Thank God we had that hold. That's what's really giving it to us. Our average price was about 309.50 or so, which is why we took that out, and then we started taking the profit. So, we're not really in the money. We are in the money, $5, but the average in on this trade, again, you take a 311, you take a 309.50, then you take a 308. It's literally $1.50 every time there. So that gives us that average price of 309.50. So realistically, this is a $4 and change win. So it's now starting to rip to the upside. So that's going to be a good trade for us here. I don't really have an out, but if we are being conservative, I think 313 should be an out there. I just think we could go higher now. So let's see if the NASDAQ wants to go. And by the way, if you didn't buy Apple, you missed your damn opportunity. Back up to 152 now. Their earnings are going to be monstrous. So get ready to lock and load on Apple. Any sort of weakness on that name, it gets bought, but not today. Everybody knows this name's going to report through the roof. So, Apple right now, just like boom. They did have that bottom. We talked about buying some at 139. What a great opportunity that was. You may never get that. You may never get that again, but we'll see if you do. I hope we do, because I like to buy some. But Apple right now, off to the races, 152. Congratulations, anybody holding that one.
So a bit of a pullback there on DWAC. I tried adding through 75, gave out the breakout that we had, gave up the gains on the breakout when it trailed back through 73.50. While that was happening, this is IINN, which was a good short. Remember, I was like, it held that halt price. It breaks out that 525 where we were shorting before. It goes into a halt. It's going to cancel it. I never got the long. I tried to get more shares at 542 on the halt price, but that 25 area holding the breakout, I will, as always, cover half the position on the reopen, and then see if it can't break out the high. So IINN still running. DWAC comes back in, so managed to turn a breakout winner into give it back and then a little bit more on DWAC because it's now back through that 73 area. Brendan.
All right, about 30 minutes to go, guys. That means in 15 minutes, we have a really great guest in the ESG space. ESG, very, very popular right now. So DuroClean coming by to talk about some of the work that they're currently involved with and doing. So ADURO coming through in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to them. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things in Europe are shaping up. Miss V, almost done for the day over there. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mixed. Car maker Volkswagen trading in Germany is down more than 4% after cutting its outlook for deliveries and reporting lower than expected third quarter profit. Back to you.
Yeah, a lot of strength on this side of the pond so far, guys. Russell is just off to the races today. 1.5% for small caps. I mean, the ES 0.75 at this point. Let's get into the last half an hour.
Yeah, let's do it. And I'll come right back to just, I know it was really quickly there. I was talking about INNN. So as usual, the plan, I'm not long at the whole price. I'm still going to follow the same pattern that I would before, where I'm going to take half out wherever it happens to open up. That's my, if you see like a solid yellow line, that's just indicating it's an actual market on open order. So I don't care where it opens up. If it can take out 550, will I be covering something from the 6? Absolutely, I'll go ahead and do that. Just going back over this H while we wait for that to reopen, and it'll be about 2 minutes or so. That HCWB, this is the reason why I always favor a breakout as opposed to just taking the consolidation. And there's nothing wrong with being long 665 here, but you have to have an out. Like if it's 6, if it's 625, I think that's okay as long as you have an out. Because if you reject that level again, this is what happens. If you get the break, I think it's a little bit more clear what I want to do with it, which is probably trail it to 650, risk about 50 pennies, and then again, you're $1.50 to the high of the day. If you take out legs on the way in front, it's probably 1.5 to 1 if you average your way out. It's not that you can't make that same trade for a long in here. A lot of times I'd be looking for that kind of short idea. I didn't like the short here. I'm canceling my breakout, if only because to get from $5.50 to $7, it could halt before, and I don't like that kind of an entry point. So I'm going to stay away from that break unless it consolidates back higher again at like 620, 630, in which case I just put my 705 breakout again on HCWB. Just quickly looking back up here at that BKKT because I don't want to miss out on a chance for this to retest that high like a third time. If it breaks 32, then it's actually not putting in a lower high. And I think you either size down or tight stop at that 33, which is not the high of the day, by the way. It is 32.80. I still think 33 makes a little bit more sense for a stop on that. And believe it or not, Tesla's still in the same $10 range. There is a zero. There is no chance. You know what? The last time I said this, it actually ended up happening on. I forget what the stock was.
Yeah.
Where I was like,
was it NEO? There was some sort
of. I think it was
no
NEO.
way this doesn't do anything.
And I go, there's no chance NEO holds this, or I think it was NEO.
Not been,
holds this range throughout lunchtime.
It was something that normally moves. That's for sure.
But there's no chance Tesla holds this range all throughout lunchtime. Like, give me a break. Tesla's been way too volatile for that.
The stamp of death.
It's likely to break out. I still think it can have a chance. If it breaks out upside, I think it tests at 1100, which is the only safe place to short, in my opinion. But I could be wrong about that. So Tesla, if you're trading it today, I think you got chopped up. I got chopped up, and I'm glad that I had a tight stop because otherwise I would have just been fighting this. And if you're fighting this, like I don't see how you're making money unless you're scalping $5, $10. The algos are having a field day with this one right now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't really want to be battling too many algos there because that's probably a losing game in the short term. In the long term, if you could pick up some nice levels, the algos will leave you alone. Okay, so 315 is coming up on Facebook. So again, a $5 winner, a big one for me here, obviously, and we'll just continue to see what's good with that. PaySafe right now, starting to battle back a little bit. I feel like we may have had a little bit of a bottom here on PaySafe near that $7, but I mean it's only $7.50. We are waiting for earnings to come through on PSFE, and when that happens, hopefully that we get out of this rut that we're in. I don't know where my daily chart is here. Load. Okay, there it is. Let's go. And yeah, like we talked about it already, these bottoms at $7. We did make a nice little move upside on some fintech rally. You know, we've seen SoFi take out 21 or 22. Now SoFi's back to like, what is it? 19.50 or 20 bucks.
I think I got close to 20.
We'll check out SoFi this morning. It was at 20 this morning. So we'll check out that 8.50 though on PaySafe coming through. Here's SoFi. Let's go look at that quickly. SoFi is a NASDAQ name, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so there it is, 1980. So we were looking at that, but see how my charts don't change? I have to hit it again. There we go. So the daily chart up there, yeah. 21.50, a nice high. So that's part of that bump that FinTech got there on, I think, a SoFi bump. So I don't know, man. This is a 20-minute chart for them. Anything back to here, 19.50, probably a decent buy. But right now we're just battling with Facebook and Ford and looking to get into some other names. There's Chewy.
Oh, but just going to do this one for you guys. We'll do the fist bump because IINN breaks out. Look, I'm out of it because it rejected that 6 even. And once I see that happen, look, on the reopen, it broke the high, which is that's enough for me. I take 60s out, I take 70s out. I got out when it rejected 6 and came back to 575. It's now trying to break through 6 even. If it goes through 6, I would anticipate that it's going to halt again. One more halt. This is now 1, 2 upside halts. It did not actually halt to the downside. And then a third one here. I'm kind of feeling like if it halts up one more time, I'll be hunting for a short position on this at some point. But IINN, if you just go back into what it did last time, you're now right up here where it just failed. It just failed. Like it opened up, like it gapped down, and then opened up here. Well, I guess it opened up in the pre-market, I suppose. So like at 7 o'clock, retail came in. It failed through $6, about $6.15, and it's trying to break these levels. So if it halts up one more time through here, I think I'm going to start thinking about, okay, well, where's the reversal? It gets hard to buy these things because I just don't know where the out is when I go long something is crazy. And that includes getting long on the halt. Like I'm not going to be sitting on the bid if this goes into a halt state again, which I feel like it's about to 6-quarter break. So IINN, congratulations to you if you're holding on to this long. I chose not to. And it would have been $1 in the money, but I feel pretty comfortable saying, you know, I'm always taking the profit on something like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, if those people that have watched us trade before know that if certain levels are hit, man, we're flashing out of those. So, all right, so Facebook, and especially if it's on the profit side, I'm debating right now on this Facebook. It's a $5.10 winner right now. What am I looking at? 20-minute? No, I don't need a 20-minute. I need a 1-minute chart right here. Facebook right now coming back in. If you look here, this is an E-signal chart. I do have a 3-minute right here riding to the upside here, a 3-minute moving average rate, 3-period. I think that's what this is, Facebook. Yeah, so it's at 313.30, but I don't want to get out there. So we break back down below 313. I think we're going to take that out on Facebook. So 313, but we are hella in the money. Is that a word? Right now with Facebook. So really happy with the way this one's turning out. It's still making moves, man. I still have a high of 315, trying to target that. And Ford just bouncing around. We did get a bottom there. Like we said, man, 1680 all the way back to 91 now. So let's start ringing the register on some Ford, guys. But I believe, look at that board. We love that board, Brendan. A nice looking board over there. Let's throw it over to Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, one of those days, typical for earnings season, where you can spot very easily all the companies that reported on this board. We'll start right in the middle here. eBay, we talked about 8.3 to the downside. Shift over to this side. There's Ford, 9% to the upside, so kind of offsetting each other here. ORLY, also another one that reported consumer discretionary stocks, though, in positive territory overall, which is nice to see after a bit of a choppy week for them. Healthcare stocks also gaining 5.3% for ABMD to the downside, ALGN offsetting each other, 5.7 to the upside. So positive territory for these guys as well. Over here, semiconductors leading as far as the tech space is concerned. FLT, an earnings name today, 3.8% to the downside. FISV as well, we talked about a little bit. Earnings, WDC, not earnings, but 2% move. Nice look for Western Digital. Apple right beside it. Aftermarket tonight for Apple. Keep that in mind. Tech stocks are strong. Industrials also strong today. AOS reported 9.5%. There's NOC as well, 6.5% on the other side of the board to the downside. So let's go over to consumer staples. MO, Altria. Missed 4.5% in negative territory for them. Newmont up here as well, another earnings name, 4% to the downside. So one of those days, you get a lot of earnings names kind of offsetting each other, but some underlying strength today, guys. So 0.8 for the S&P. Back over to you.
Yes, sir. eBay, man. Ooh, not good for eBay. We don't know when Global Foundries is going to open up, but it's seeming less and less likely it'll be by the time we're getting out of here. Could be for memes and movers, so I know Trader Brad will be excited about that because it's a big IPO. I know he talks a lot about the chips. I want to hear his opinion on it as well. IINN, since that halt to the upside, it tests 650, goes to 48, it rejects, now trying to hold 6 even. Look, offer it, big offer on at 597 there. Gimme, always gets. I get nothing? No? Okay, whatever. I should have been on level 2. I'm on the chart there, and this is still on food too, so apologies. But IINN, this is what I mean. If I could have got the first short in front of it, this was at 97, 250,000 shares. It's now down. They just spiked it down. Oh yeah, I show it now. They cancel the order. Anyways, there it goes. Now it's still there. So they're trailing it down, but it's getting filled. If you catch this like the first time through like 95, fine, because you get an easy, quick 20, 30 cent win. Now it's going to get eaten alive because they're actually trying to get this fill, and then it'll probably snap back to the upside. That's why I'm not chasing it any further down, because you're just looking for the first clean win off 6. Maybe it's going to work out. Like if that person takes that fill and this really halts down, wow, okay. I guess they just took a 30,000 share fill, chased it down, and the stock still wants to fall even though it got gobbled up. Who's buying that? Like who's hitting that level and just getting destroyed here as it goes down into the halt level at 540? So I decided not to chase it, but that's the difference between like a static order just sitting there at 597 that just holds, waiting around to get a fill, and someone saying I want it. They pull down to like 82, they take more shares, they pull down in the 70s, they take it all, and now you're right back bouncing to the upside. So quickly tried to show that on the level 2. Apologies, it was on Futu, my big level 2 for you guys, because I was just watching that stock. It's kind of hard. You're going back and forth between symbols, but big level, they got taken out on the IINN. I tend to think that was someone taking profit on a long as opposed to going to short, because that would be suicide in their case.
We almost got out of Facebook there. It did basically tick down to 313. So we are watching that 313 level for sure here on FB. So we are going to watch out for that. I just want to call that up because that was a little bit of a concern for me there at that 313 level. I just don't want to give it all back. Not give it all back, but give some back. I just want to capture the $5. What's wrong with that? Clover today off a bit. I see some people talking about it. Look, I'm happy about the 3% up, but in my opinion, I'm holding Clover for some of these new highs again. New highs would be something nice, but up to here, I still think we can get to this little spike level there when Chamath was tweeting away. So I still think that there's something happening here. $9.85, $10 or so on Clover Health again. I'm trying to hold some of these plays until we see earnings again. I just know that it's been a little bit of a rough time for some of these new plays, so we're gonna have to wait for Clover now, and I believe in it, so we'll wait on it now. But that's just going to be another play that's sort of in the longer term portfolio there. Palantir, like, damn it, we wrote down 25 on that name. We are too busy chasing the dream with Ford today, and we really miss out on our best stock. Recently anyways. Well, Microsoft's been a great stock, but look at Palantir, man. I mean, what the heck? It dips down to 25.14. We write on our sticky note, get long at 25. So, when you're back down here, like you're 10 cents away from your target, you buy that, right? And so there it is, man, straight up to the upside. Should have had this name, but we're really happy with Palantir report. Not report, they're going to report on November 8th or 9th. We weren't sure about that, so we'll wait for that gets closer. I think we settled on the 8th, I think it was.
I just remember there was an interesting discussion about like trying to figure out the Palantir earnings. DWAC's trying it again through 75. I'll scalp it in front of $1 and then try to hold the rest just like we did last time. But it is 10:45. Let's get right over to Brendan at the desk.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, DuroClean joining us today to talk a little bit about the ESG space and the clean energy space, in the sense that we're taking plastics and transforming them into renewable oils and renewable fuels, along with products in this space. Offer Vickis is the director and CEO of the company and joins us today to tell us a little bit more about the company. It's great to have you, Offer. Let's jump right into things here. Tell us where this concept came from, because it's an interesting space right now, getting a lot of attention. Tell us about DuroClean.
Oh, we've been conceiving. Thank you for having me. Hello. We've been conceiving. We conceived about 10 years ago in 2011, and we've been under the radar working on this technology for ever since. Recently got public. We felt it's about time to show the audience what is it that we're doing. I mean, they deserve to know that there is other alternative to combat plastic waste, we feel definitely as part of this force that can add more value when you're talking about combating waste plastic all around us. I mean, the current solutions that you can see are somewhat limited, and I think we're breaking this circular in a very interesting way.
Yeah, so a service that is greatly needed. I mean, everyone's seen, you know, the pictures of the oceans with the floating plastic is terrible, obviously, and needs to be corrected. Let's talk about the process here. So plastic upcycling, tell us exactly what that means and what the company is working towards and the benefits that we can see from this.
Right. Well, plastic upcycling for us, it's a chemical conversion that happens at a very, very low temperature, and it happens with a catalyst and some source of we call it a glycerol hydrogen equivalent, which is come from some kind of a renewable source. Now, the benefit of it is that because you're working in a small temperature and because you're somewhat independent, you don't need the hydrogen gas by way of example. What happened is that there is benefit in the technology that enable you to operate in a small scale operation, and that gives you a lot of flexibility. Actually, it gives you some kind of a way to reimagine again how would you like to combat this. By way of example, you just maybe you could put a smaller operation unit closer to the waste resources, so now you don't need to transport it. You sometimes can create more value for the locals that are working around it in many ways. And if you want to enter into a circular or large centralized location, then you're talking about a very efficient system that can step up and process anything from a single stream. And within time, we're very early up to a complex mixture of plastics.
So the second of three verticals that the company works on is going to focus on bitumen and renewables. Tell us exactly what we're referring to here, first off, and how is this different from what the company is doing with the plastic?
It's actually platform technology, and so it's almost the same, believe it or not. We see things through the chemistry, and there's a lot of similarities. In fact, when we're operating on bitumen, this is where we started, there are lessons learned towards the renewable, and when we're operating on the renewable, there are lessons learned towards the bitumen. And I'll give an example. We use the metals in the bitumen as the catalyst, which considered to be a very a source of creating or hurting the value of the bitumen. But then we only have to add some kind of a bio-based material to create this chemistry that we want, and by that we are improving not just the value of this unconventional crude that is unfortunately in today's market, it's growing because of all kinds of reasons. Energy in the world, demand for energy in the world is increasing, and there is increase in the usage of unconventional crude. But we're also saving money to the producer that has to spend a lot of money on the blending side, and that gives him maybe a greener operation that increase the value of the crude, saves a little bit of the operation, and give him flexibility when he's working in this vast market, because the big guys has alternative and the smaller guys has less alternative. We represent, we want of course to work with the bigger guys, but we also represent an opportunity for the smaller guys in this field to make a greener process.
So the company has 7 patents currently for water-based technologies in this space. It's been featured in Forbes.com as part of a plastic pollution solution article on Forbes. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect here as far as, you know, maybe development in this space, further development, and what does the company have planned going forward?
Yeah, it was a bit of a core walk around because it was so novel and new, nobody knew about it, and we have to take steps in order to recognize ourselves, I guess. And the Forbes suggests for me, for us, actually 2 steps, two items, I guess. The first one, us coming from the lab and moving forward and actually being able to show that we are taking steps towards commercialization. That was maybe the first benefit. And there was a recognition, professional recognition, that there is a source out there that is an alternative a way to work around plastic waste. The second was more related to the ESG activity. So if we could imagine an operation that currently all the plastic waste end up in the waste in the landfill, and if we are small and tiny and nimble and have some flexibility, how about avoiding this waste of getting into the live stream? Because we see opportunities to work with a B2B organization where we're just collecting the plastic straight from a customer and just treating it before it even end up in the waste stream. And that's a different business model. So that type of flexibility is now translated into some kind of a pilots that we are looking forward to in commission over the next few years, and that's what the public is going to see from us.
It's a fascinating topic, and I think one that a lot of people may need to educate themselves on further going forward. DuroCleanTech.com, guys, for more information on the work that DuroClean is currently doing. ACT is the ticker. It's listed here in Toronto primarily on the CSE. Offer Vickis, CEO and Director of DuroClean. A fascinating topic. Thanks for doing this today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day. There we go, guys. DuroClean Technologies.
Yeah, another fantastic interview, Brendan. And one of the things, people talk about ESG.
It's so hot right now.
Yeah, it is. And sometimes it's a little bit easier to not have to worry about someone's arbitrary idea of a metric for ESG. It's just like you can just find a company that you think has the values or you think is making a difference and choose yourself. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the whole ESG thing. I just feel like investors can make their own decisions and not worry about someone else's rating in that regard. That's just me. But I think that's pretty clear in this point that you know what you're getting. So while we were there, DWAC is on the NASDAQ, Neil.
Yep.
There it is. If I type it wrong the first time, I just kind of get myself in trouble. So DWAC made some moves. Now I tried 74 break, scalps them out, 75 break, fail. This is now the second time through, 75 break, scalps them out. I didn't get a reload, and 72 put in some support here, which that's a good support level, by the way. If you look at what happened at the open, you get a rejection at 72 on a break. You then hold 72 on a dime. If there was a price that you wanted support to show up for this breakout, I think it would be at 72. So I'm just talking price action here, guys. So if it manages to hold a higher low, I think it could be a reload in front of this like 73.5, or even just a take of the break at 76 to add. Like one of those ways I want to get a break a little bit further, to be able to add after I scalp them out. And if you're looking for a level, I'm sitting on the offer. Just go back a couple of days ago when at the morning it found initial support around 79 and then a breakthrough at that price. I think there'll be some selling in front of 79. So wherever this goes, if it's a 76 break or I can add to it or add to it around here in case it can hold 72, I think out in front of 79 makes sense to me, not waiting for $80 even.
Yeah, we're getting, I mean, Facebook right now is just bouncing off this 314. Like, I'm really thinking that this 312 might be something here, maybe even 313.30. I'm going to give it a down to, 313 flat. But if you were being a little more conservative, maybe in the middle here, it's a $5 win right now for us. And like I said, we're close to being positive on the name, which is unbelievable considering where we were. What else is unbelievable is I thought $30 was a pretty good win for us, about $1 there on Lucid, but wow, guys, hold my beer says Lucid up to $32, basically making us all look like fools for selling that one. Fisker, though, another name that I think you can take advantage of, man. I'm long Fisker. We're nicely in the money on this one. As Lucid goes, it looks like, Fisker, some of these other names starting to go to the upside as well. So that's going to be a good play. We talked about that at $15 right there on the 50-period moving average. Sorry, $14 for Fisker, a good little long. We're long about here. So we're not, we're cashing in right now, but we're not, we're in the money, but we're not cashing in. So we'll wait to see where we go from here. Obviously, I still like Fisker. I like what they're doing, and we'll just see what matters here to them. So, with the Ocean coming through, going to be there next year. We have the Pope Mobile coming through as well. So we'll wait to see on Fisker. I like them. We're just... Yeah, it's called the Pope Mobile. Well, it's going to be an Ocean, but they're designing it for the Pope. And then 15.95, a 16 break, and then we get something similar to what Lucid's doing right now. So I like Fisker. Let's hold it for that 16 break.
And just only under 5 minutes to go. I know we have some more earnings. You guys care about two names, which I think we all do. But there's certainly a lot more than that. INNN, just want to mention here, IINN, that's right, I got it right. 650, double top here. Now, I know it halted up. It was a good long. I took it off early, but I'm always taking profit on these. Clearly, you could have held it for another 60, 70 cents. But a double top 650 sets up for a break. It's just a lower high here at 620 will make sense for me to try to grab a short. I think it's a reversal at 650, so I'll definitely be willing to go into the long trade if it breaks out that top. As usual, I'll take some out in front of 7, take some out in front of any kind of a halt, and then try to hold through. As I mentioned, got some earnings here. Not as crazy as yesterday, this board, but hey, there's some big ones in the middle there.
Yeah, the big ones are there.
Yeah.
Just got a new update there, guys. Global Foundries 47.75 now. It's not really moving around that much. 47 was the list, remember? So went up to 48, down 25 cents. Yeah, here we go. The big ones in the middle: Starbucks, Apple. Take your pick.
Yeah, I pick all of them.
Amazon?
I'm not in Starbucks. I was in Starbucks and I sold that way too early. I mean, obviously I'm large into Amazon and Apple. I think down with Exxon. Chevron is there as well. I mean, I don't know if it's down tomorrow, but we'll wait to see. I am negative on some of these oil names, so.
Yeah, I mean, U.S. Steel's in there as well. They're very, very sensitive to price movement. Like, one of the reasons why it was a better play last year than some of the more established names is because when commodity prices were going up, they just stood to benefit by a little bit more and have more explosive upside. But when they come back in, they catch more of the downside, and that's the risk of U.S. Steel. That's why it's not really much of an ad for me. But hey, guys, Amazon, Apple, you guys know where it's going to be at here. And if those can be strong, just like we saw out of Google and Microsoft, then there's probably no stopping the overall indexes. With only about 3 minutes to go here, I'm just going to sort of go back to DWAC for a split second. I got the reload in front of 72, but if 72 breaks, that's a key level. I'm out of this thing. So we scalped the dollar a couple times. The reload didn't work because it was a breakout. This time I buy the dip. It's either taking out the high or breaking 72, but you guys are going to Miss V. We're all going to Miss V to see what national day it is today.
Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day so far. Thank you for spending this morning with us, and please don't leave without giving this video a like. Your support means a lot to us, and me and Prat can wait you to join Memes and Movers right after to keep trading the rest of the day. And happy National Chocolate Day, everyone.
Yep.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, the Marissa made brownies yesterday because she, of course, is well versed of what these national days are. So very, very tasty. One more time, we like chocolate. My favorite thing involving chocolate is chocolate-covered almonds. So that's mine. Yeah. Or the Raisinets or something like that. That's mine. Neil and Brendan?
I mean, I love chocolate-covered almonds. It's just that's my thing. If a kid comes to my house and they're like, "We're selling chocolate-covered almonds,"
that's a wrap.
And they sell it for like 5 times what you need to pay for it. It's like, how many boxes do you have? That's just it's out.
Yeah, that's a wrap. You got to definitely try to control those portion control. I know Brendan's all over this, so he's going to give us something right now.
I was just noticing, guys. NASDAQ Composite all-time highs. Right.
Yeah, just now.
Right now.
Oh, it did just, yeah.
And no surprise when Apple's reporting. I mean, guys, you got to buy Apple shares. We've been telling them that 140, 139, amazing. Microsoft 280. Brendan, chocolate covered or chocolate?
Yeah, I'll go almonds as well, but you got to go frozen. I don't know if you guys have tried that, but freeze them first. Thumbs up.
He always has something new. I've never even heard of that. But
I like frozen blueberries.
Yeah, frozen fruit.
Chocolate
yes,
covered.
100%, man. Like frozen fruit. But I've never tried it. But you know what, Brendan? Like,
I mean, that's.
I'll try it.
Honestly, that's how you chip a tooth. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Almonds are already an issue, let alone freezing them. But
dentist got to eat too, Sean. Dentist has to eat too.
Yeah, my dentists are eating right now. I mean, we have 3 kids, so they're making good choices. They brush.
Man.
We got our kids the automatic brush. You know, you just push the button and like that. So they're all over there, and it actually times them, so they know exactly how long to be brushing for.
My daughter loves mine, but I don't give her one yet.
Yeah, shout out to all. I don't think she's too young. Shout out to all the dentists out there, making bank. Smile Direct Club, we can look at that as well. But hey, look, it's been a good day. We had a great guest. It was a fun one. We're getting ready to wrap up here and throw over to Memes and Movers. Of course, we are back at 3.
Yeah, we're back at 3, and by that time, we'll have obviously traded Global Foundries, which is yet to open up. It'll happen at some point today. Hopefully, it'll be a good one. I think it should be a good trade at least. But you guys are headed over to Trader Prad and Miss V. It's Memes and Movers. There's a heck of a lot of those today, and I guarantee you they will not be stopping. Let's go.
Welcome back to Memes and Movers. This is Thursday, October 28th. I'm your host, Trader Pred, the beautiful Miss V to my right.
Hi guys, welcome everyone. As usual, please be active on the chat, ask us anything, and make sure to like this video. We would really appreciate your support. And write on the chat, how's your trading day going? What's your biggest win today, or maybe biggest loser is in my case, which I will talk a little bit later on. Prat, how's your day going? Any firm trading today?
Yeah, I did trade a firm, but for the most part, just been, flat for the day. Not really there in my mental to trade today, so keeping my size small. Not really trying to, push any home run trades. So I can show you guys a couple of trades that I pulled off on Tesla and on a firm. I was obviously trying to get short in front of VWAP the whole day. And then this last spike right before the show started kind of took away all my wins on Tesla. Obviously just keeping my sizing small, not really looking for any big trades just to smash, because the one I wanted on